walked off the golf course. So I've played out here in resort conditions before and been able to shoot a very respectable score, and then played out here 2 weeks ago in U.S. Open conditions and shot maybe 15 shots worse.
Dagan, we're going to be here all day covering the backstory. Back to you.
Thank you, Jerry. Thanks to everybody. Stuart, take it away.
All right, thanks, Dagan. And good morning to you, and good morning, everyone. Now, look, we have major developments on the oil tanker attack. It has to do with Iran. Fox News Pentagon producer Lucas Tomlinson is getting all the information together for us. We'll go to him as soon as he is ready. But here's what we have for you so far. Video of what is believed to be an Iranian boat removing a mine from the side of an oil tanker in the Gulf. This tanker had been attacked yesterday. Perhaps the mine that was removed had simply failed to detonate, and the Iranians wanted to get rid of evidence that they were behind the tanker attacks. Mike Pompeo says, yes, they were. And this morning on Fox, the president said the attack had, quote, Iran written all over it. But look at this. The oil market is simply shrugging. Despite what's happening in the Mideast oil patch, the price remains at a depressed level, $52 a barrel. It's actually up just 12, 15, 17 cents as we speak. Why don't we give credit to America's oil glut? We run the show now, and oil prices are at $52 a barrel. More trouble. 600 companies, including Walmart, have signed a letter opposing tariffs on China. They want them removed, saying tariffs harm our economy. The president is losing some corporate support. Trouble, trouble everywhere. And there's still no certainty that a meeting with Xi Jinping will actually take place. Again, trouble everywhere, this time with China trade. And look at this. The stock market shrugging it off. A minor loss at the opening bell, and most of that loss is accounted for with two stocks, Apple and Intel. So far, we're not seeing the big losses that might have been expected with all these problems all over the place. However, we are seeing a flight to safety. The yield on the 10-year Treasury is all the way down to 2.10%. It had been much lower than that earlier. You buy Treasuries in times of trouble, and that brings the yield down. And you buy gold in times of trouble, too. That is pushing gold prices this morning up to a 14-month high, $1,353 per ounce. Yeah, it's a big Friday show, as usual. It is the president's 73rd birthday today. Just wait till you hear what he told Fox and Friends this morning. Varney and Company is about to begin.
It's a fascist statement. It's a disgraceful statement. I call her Nervous Nancy. She's a nervous wreck. But when Nancy Pelosi makes a statement like that, she ought to be ashamed of herself. It's a disgrace. The big thing, though, is they spied on my campaign. That's probably one of the great criminal acts of all time.
Okay. That was the president on the phone this morning with Fox and Friends. That was earlier this morning. He was responding to Speaker Pelosi, who said the president committed an assault on our democracy after telling ABC News that he'd welcome foreign information on his 2020 opponent. Kayleigh McEnany, Trump 2020 press secretary, is with us now. Strong language from the president vis-a-vis Pelosi this morning.
Right, merited language, because Nancy Pelosi has repeatedly said things like this, like the president's engaged in a cover-up, she said. Nancy Pelosi's not Speaker of the House. I get that she has that title, but she's not. She's being run by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She's being run by Rashida Tlaib. The radicals pull the puppet strings of Nancy Pelosi just like they do for Joe Biden.
So it's a bare-knuckles fight, isn't it? I mean, and it's not over.
Yeah, it's a bare-knuckles fight, but this president will defend himself. These people, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, you name it, have had one goal since November 8th, 2016, take down President Trump via impeachment. That is the goal. You see it, and now they nakedly admit it.
Okay. Another point here is that this morning we have a letter, I think it's a letter, from 600 corporations, including Walmart and some tech companies, all asking President Trump, get rid of those tariffs on China. The reason I'm bringing this up is the president's losing some corporate support at a key moment in the fight with China. What do you say to that?
There's no doubt that President Trump has been the best president in the last few decades for the American economy. That's just the starting point. Number two, I would say these tariffs he's using strategically. You look, Peter Navarro cited a study recently that said that American exporters face tariffs 2/3 of the time more than the person who they're exporting to.
I hate to interrupt you, all true, but when 600 corporate executives, top-of-the-line people, say, come on, get rid of these tariffs on China, that's really losing support for his whole position vis-a-vis China. You've got to be worried about that.
I'm not, because I know the president knows how to be strategic. You look with Mexico, the media was apoplectic about the tariff situation. Didn't happen. He averted the use of tariffs, and in fact, we ended up with a better deal. The USMCA, you look at that, it's a better deal. China is hurting. We know that their economy is hurting, and the president will get a better deal. I'm convinced of that. It just takes time.
Kayleigh McEnany, thank you very much for being with us this morning on a very important day. It's important for this. I've got that breaking news for you now. Fox News reporting that Iran is detaining the crew of one of those tankers that was attacked in the Gulf of Oman. Lucas Tomlinson, Fox News Pentagon producer, has more on this. Lucas, it's yours.
Stu, we have just learned the Pentagon now believes the crew of that second oil tanker damaged outside the Persian Gulf yesterday were detained by the Iranians yesterday. Here's video of their burning Norwegian-owned oil tanker. U.S. officials tell me the crew was first rescued by another merchant vessel, but Iranian gunboats quickly surrounded the ship and demanded the crew be turned over. The captain ultimately relented and ordered his crew to surrender. The 23 crew members are now being held in Iran. It's not clear what the next steps are. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo forcefully blamed Iran for the attacks on both tankers.
This assessment is based on intelligence, the weapons used, the level of expertise needed to execute the operation, recent similar Iranian attacks on shipping, and the fact that no proxy group operating in the area has the resources and proficiency to act with such a high degree of sophistication.
Late last night, the U.S. military released new video showing what it claims to be an Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard boat removing an unexploded mine from the hull of the other tanker, a Japanese-owned vessel damaged in the Gulf of Oman as Japan's prime minister visited Tehran. Iran denies it played any role in the attacks. The Iranian mission to the United Nations accuses the United States and its Gulf allies of warmongering in a statement Thursday evening, quote, Iran categorically rejects the U.S. unfounded claim with regard to 13 June oil tanker instances and condemns it in the strongest possible terms. U.S. officials say all 21 sailors from that Japanese-owned tanker rescued by the American guided missile destroyer Bainbridge have been treated and returned to their ship and are preparing to tow the stricken vessel back to port. Iranian vessels remain in the vicinity. Keep in mind, these incidents took place roughly 20 miles from Iranian shores near the strategic Strait of Hormuz, a waterway where 20% of the world's oil flows each year. USS Mason, another guided missile destroyer, has been dispatched to the area to make sure the area is safe for commercial shipping. Stuart?
Lucas, thank you very much indeed. I'm going to interpret this as an escalation, certainly in the tension level in the Gulf right there. Lucas, thanks for that report. Now, show me futures again. The market has just digested, well, I don't think they've fully digested this. This is escalation. Maybe it's not fully digested it, but the news has certainly broken, and we've got a mere drop of, what, 30 points for the Dow Industrials, 45 for the NASDAQ, okay, but that's not a serious drop. I want to bring in Alan Rechenschaffer. He's with UBS. I'm glad you're here. Look, we got trouble everywhere, but very little response on the stock market. How do you account for that?
Look, we're in a period of positivity. And this positivity started when the president was elected. It's gone through today. You see that the retail sales numbers this morning, people are feeling positive. At the same time, having a risk management adjusted approach to a market which is approaching record highs again is the appropriate way to proceed.
I am surprised, though. I don't know about you, but I got out of bed this morning very early, looked at futures and looked at the news of the day and thought, my goodness me, we're going down. But no. Why, is the economy that strong? Is future profitability that good that you can just ignore what's going on?
The underlying economy is extremely strong. And I think that's why in the beginning of the year, you had the Fed, some fear that the Fed would raise interest rates. The Fed has tempered that somewhat. And I think that in the midst of all this positivity, there is a reality that there are vulnerabilities in the market.
Okay, but what's happening seems to be that worried money, the anxiety money, is going into treasuries and gold. That's the flight to safety. Not out of stocks, but into treasuries and gold. Have I got that right?
I mean, you can see from the price of gold and from the price of treasuries that's true. And I think a lot of that is because you have a situation now where we have very low inflation. Low interest rates should follow from low inflation. You also have a situation where you have the Democrats and Republicans both talking about aspects of something called modern monetary theory, which means that you can borrow as much money as you want and it doesn't necessarily mean anything. And the Democrats are talking about this a lot right now, and it's going to be a major focus of the debate going forward. So being in gold makes sense. That's why I think you've seen some movement in the cryptocurrencies also. Okay. There is a reality that we have to prepare for the vulnerabilities in the midst of this positivity.
But for the stock market, you're still bullish, long term.
The economic backdrop is fantastic.
Wow. What a day. So, Alan, thank you very much for setting
Stuart,
us all straight there. It was very good. Thank you very much indeed. All right. By the way, we got that news on the crew of the Norwegian tanker being held in Iran. It's made no difference to the stock market and futures at all. Bernie Sanders, well, he's going after Amazon. He calls the company greedy for introducing a new credit card, which does have a 28% interest rate on it. OK, we can talk about that one, I guess. Oberlin College ordered to pay, I think, a total of $44 million to a bakery that tried to run them out of business for fake racial profiling. Wait till you hear exactly, well, I think I've told you already. I think it's 44 million.
It is.
I'll repeat it after the break. Varney and Company just getting started.
When we invest in a world we're proud to leave behind, it isn't just business as usual. It's investing by example.
Right along with the real heroes. Every call, every emergency is a life on the line.
Watch an encore of Fox's First Responders Live, Saturday.
Let me ask you something. Can the past help you write the future? Can you feel calm in the eye of a storm? Can you do more with less? Can you raise the bar while reducing your footprint? For over 100 years, we've been answering the questions of today to meet the energy needs of tomorrow. Southern Company.
So Jardiance asks, when it comes to type 2 diabetes, are you thinking about your heart?
Well, I'm managing my A1C, so I should be all set.
Right.
Actually, you're still at risk for a fatal heart attack or stroke.
Even if I'm taking heart medicine like statins or blood thinners?
Yep. That's why I asked my doctor what else I could do. She told me about Jardiance.
That's right. Jardiance significantly reduces the risk of dying from a cardiovascular event for adults who have type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. That's why the American Diabetes Association recommends the active ingredient in Jardiance.
And it lowers A1C.
Yeah, with diet and exercise.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
So, what do you think?
Now I feel I can do more to go beyond lowering A1C.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance today.
We use Angie's List because we can always find great local pros.
For any type of home project.
I use Angie's List because it's free.
Free to read reviews.
Check their ratings.
They can even match my project to qualified pros.
Go to angieslist.com today.
Politics, the markets, and your money.
Stunning development with the Senate. You heard this first on Fox Business.
One name brings it all together.
Rates are still historically low, and indeed they are. Fox on top, but stocks soaring.
Cavuto Coast to Coast, only on Fox Business Network.
Watch out, chip makers, starting with Broadcom. That stock is wildly lower. What is that, 8% down?
Yeah.
They're warning of a slowdown in chip demand. They blame the restrictions on Huawei, and that's hitting the whole lot of them. Look, all of them down, was 6, 7, 8% down. That's also hitting the Dow component, Apple. It's down this morning, just 1.3%, but it's back to 191. We have big news from Facebook. I think we got the news already, but now the implementation. They're going to unveil their new cryptocurrency next week. And it's already signed up some big backers, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Uber among them. Investors like that. It's up $250 at $179. More on that breaking news out of Iran. Fox News reports the Iranians are detaining the crew of one of those oil tankers. Joining us now is Christian Whiten, former State Department official. Christian, I regard this as an escalation. I don't think any Americans are being held in Iran, but it is an escalation if they're detaining the entire crew. How should we respond?
Well, this is what Iran always does. It always takes hostages. This is how this regime came to power in 1979, taking U.S. citizens, U.S. diplomats hostage. They did so again with U.S. Citizens in Beirut throughout the 1980s and onward. We need to respond, I think, quite seriously. Frankly, I share your pleasant surprise that the market isn't off more, because I think we are on a path toward retaliating finally against Iran, which really has been pushing on an open door and getting away with too much for too long.
Well, what kind of retaliation do you think we might do?
I think this is a maritime attack, so responding to degrading Iran's maritime capabilities. In any response, I think we need to work with our allies in the Middle East and maintain escalation dominance.
Let's get clear here, Christian. Are we going to fire shots in anger at the Iranians, whether it's Iranian boats, missiles, or whatever? Are we going to fire shots in their direction in anger?
Yes, with our allies. I think that has to happen. I don't know if it's definitely going to happen, but I think it's more likely than not at this point. The president was very clear in what would happen, that there would be consequences if Iran did what it was hinting to do, which is attack shipping in the Strait of Hormuz and the Persian Gulf. They've done that, and now it's time for that threat to be made real.
And look at that. The price of oil is up a mere 15 cents at only $52 a barrel when you've got all this stuff. I mean, this would not have happened without the glut of oil that America has produced, right?
Yep, that's a big factor. Now, we are still vulnerable to some, because we are a net exporter now of hydrocarbons writ large, but part of that is LNG that we're exporting. So we still do import a fair amount of oil to refine into gasoline for cars. So it's not like we are immune from Middle East troubles, but it's nowhere near where it was, say, in the 1970s.
I used the word escalation when we talked about the detaining of this crew of the Norwegian tanker. Is that accurate? Is it an escalation, or is it just, as you say, maybe par for the course?
I think it's an escalation. Clearly, it's probably something that was planned. The idea that some people are spreading that, oh, maybe this was just rogue elements in the Revolutionary Guard. No, this attack on shipping, incidentally, two of our treaty allies, Norway owns one of the ships, Japan owns one of the other Japanese companies. Those are treaty allies, which we have mutual defense agreements with. This is very serious, and it's very direct. I think the Iranians thought they were being cute and would do something very provocative against the United States. But something that would stop just short of triggering a military response. But I think they've probably miscalculated.
Okay, Christian Whiten, as always, thank you, sir. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Stuart.
Now, there is a really big legal penalty for Oberlin College after they tried to run a bakery out of business for fake racial profiling. Tell me more, and what's the penalty?
Yeah, the penalty, let's get to the money first.
Yes.
$11 million against Oberlin College in compensatory damages, and then $33 million in punitive damages, for a whopping total of $44 million. This all began when a student from Oberlin, an African-American student, was confronted for shoplifting wine. Two other African-American students joined in and assaulted one of the bakery members as he was trying to stop them from taking the wine. They later admitted to doing all of this, by the way, but it sparked a protest outside the bakery from Oberlin students who claimed the bakery was racist and profiled. All of this was proven not true. And it got so bad that the college tour guides, talking to prospective students, as part of the guide, labeled the local bakery as racist, so avoid it. Anyway, bottom line is they were almost put out of business. They now have $44 million award.
Oh, they've got the award.
Let me just say very quickly, you have sent a profound message. We have heard you. Believe me when I say colleges across the country have heard you. That's from the defendant's attorney. That's from Oberlin College's attorney saying, all right, we heard you. Whether that's true or not, I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Yes.
Good story, though.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Look, we've got this escalation, the detention of the Norwegian tanker crew in Iran, which make no difference to the market. We're still down just a little bit, down 20-odd points for the Dow Industrials when we open for business. Amazon facing a new lawsuit over its Echo voice assistant. They're being accused of illegally recording kids' voices. We'll have that story for you next. And now, look, that's it.
The fight for border funding. Trump demands billions. Dems keep squabbling. When will Congress come through? Sebastian Gorka has insight tonight on Dobbs.
Introducing the only $5 meal deal in the entire world that has Arby's foods in it. Arby's, we have the meats.
The day after chemo might mean a trip back to the doctor's office, just for a shot. But why go back there when you can stay home? With Neulasta Onpro, strong chemo can put you at risk of serious infection. In a key study, Neulasta reduced the risk of infection from 17% to 1%, a 94% decrease. Neulasta Onpro is designed to deliver Neulasta the day after chemo and is used by most patients today.
Neulasta is for certain cancer patients receiving strong chemotherapy. Do not take Neulasta if you're allergic to it, or Neupogen, filgrastim. An incomplete dose could increase infection risk. Ruptured spleen, sometimes fatal, as well as serious lung problems, allergic reactions, kidney injuries, and capillary leak syndrome have occurred. Report abdominal or shoulder tip pain, trouble breathing, or allergic reactions to your doctor right away. In patients with sickle cell disorders, serious, sometimes fatal crises can occur. The most common side effect is bone and muscle ache.
If you'd rather be home, ask your doctor about Neulasta Onpro. Pay no more than $5 per dose with copay card.
TrueCar is great for finding new cars. You're smart, you already knew that. But it's also great for finding the perfect used car. You'll see what a fair price is, and you can connect with a TrueCar certified dealer. Now you're even smarter. This is TrueCar.
This is a call to America's innovators and achievers. It's time to work smarter and faster than ever before with steel. The precision of Zeckelman Industries makes it possible. Our industry-leading products, manufacturing excellence, and advanced e-commerce and logistics technologies will help you build America's future better with steel. Let's get to work.
Introducing the all-new Speed Wash system from Generac. The ultra-fast way to pressure wash. The Speed Wash features best-in-class 3,200 PSI cleaning power and puts pressure control right at your fingertips. Dial it up to blast away the toughest stains. Dial it down for a more delicate wash. The Speed Wash system includes 3 cutting-edge cleaning tools. The Power Broom cleans decks and driveways up to 4 times faster. The Turbo Nozzle blasts away grime in half the time. And the Soap Blaster soaps it up faster. And right now, for a limited time, you can have all 3 of these game-changing tools for free.
To get the complete Generac Speed Wash system, call 1-800-795-4939. Free shipping is now in effect, and right now, for a limited time, you can get all 3 cleaning tools for free. Speed Wash models start at just $379. Order online at GeneracSpeedWash.com.
Look at Amazon. A new lawsuit claims that Alexa is illegally recording kids without their parents' consent. Lauren Simonetti has details.
It's a voice print. So many people, majority of people have an Alexa device in their home.
Yep.
It's recording what your child is saying, and it's keeping a recording of that. These lawsuits state that that is not right. Not only are you getting this information without our consent, you're storing it as well.
Right. Okay.
This is what your life looks like, your child's voice and a look into your daily lives. Obviously, it's a privacy invasion. What do you do about all of this?
Okay, yeah, good question.
Yeah,
now,
got some answers.
It's automatically recorded unless I, the Alexa owner, take steps to opt out. Is that correct? and it's complicated to opt out.
You have to opt out, and you have to know the onus is on you to opt out. Right. Now, where these lawsuits were filed, they are in the states that call for all parties to give consent before recording. Okay. So that's where it gets tricky. But I think nationally and federally, we are moving in the direction because it's bipartisan.
Real fast, I've only got
regulate
time for
all of this online.
Why on earth are they recording it in the first place?
So they can better test voice recognition and get you the answers to the questions that you're asking their devices.
You're spying in my house.
Yes.
Get out.
It is. And it's big tech is charged with doing the same thing.
Yeah. I'm not having it.
But yet we
don't buy the machine.
Yeah. And don't buy the Nest thermostat.
Yeah.
And
there's one installed in my apartment and I can't get rid of it.
I know they're installing them now when you buy a house in the first
it comes
place.
automatic. I don't want it. Take it out.
No one does.
The Dow Industrials will open this Friday morning slightly lower despite trouble everywhere, down a mere 20 points. Back with Wall Street after this.
FoxBusiness.com, your portal to all the business information you need. Access all of our exclusive content, including shows, market news, tweets, live radio, and podcasts.
Swelling, stiffness. When your hands hurt, you can't function. Until now. Introducing the new Copperfit compression gloves with Sure Grip technology to give you more power, more control, and more agility than ever. Our most advanced copper-infused compression fabric woven into an ultra-lightweight performance glove that fits like a second skin to support relief and recovery of sore muscles and painful joint stiffness. And new Sure Grip bands built in to provide a strong, non-slip grip for more power and control.
You need total control of your hands when you're doing anything with construction. Your hands are your livelihood. The Copperfit gloves are great. The grip is outstanding here with these different ribs. It makes my hand a lot more usable. It just feels like you're just ready to start the job.
The gloves have been a game changer for me. They help with flexibility and pain and soreness. They allow me to do my job even better.
Breathable wicking fabric with an open finger design for full range of motion, feel, and control.
They relieve my pain. When I grab something, I'm not in pain. The support or whatever magic these things do, I don't know what it is. It doesn't matter to me what it is, it works.
I get a lot of pain, and it can make it difficult to do the smallest thing. While I'm wearing this, I do not have any pain. I can use it on the keyboard, I can use my phone, I drive with it, I sleep with it. I love this glove.
The new Copperfit compression gloves with Sure Grip technology. Relief from painful muscle and joint soreness. Guaranteed or your money back. Call 1-800-378-3146. Or on the web at getcopperfitgloves.com for only $19.99. Order right now and your shipping is free.
I tried it, I use it, I know it works.
Copperfit gloves definitely just make my life better.
I've used Copperfit before. This has helped my hands so much. These things work.
Feel better with copper-infused compression. Ask for it by name. Copperfit compression gloves.
Introducing the latest innovation in luxury senior and family bathing, the Elevate bathtub. This revolutionary design includes a door panel that easily slides up and down so you will never stand on a wet surface again, and the bathtub drains in up to 10 seconds. For ultimate relaxation, turn on the heated backrest and unwind. The Elevate tub uses chromotherapy and air-jet systems to revitalize your sense of well-being. Elevate, the bathtub for all ages.
Having an idea for a business was easy. Timeless jewelry for women on the go. But without the right team and the right tools in place, it's just an idea. That's why I use NetSuite. Everything's in one place. Financials, supply chain management, billing, and more. That's the visibility and control I need to make my big idea and my business grow even bigger with NetSuite.
Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/grow.
I need an explanation. The price of oil is what? $52 a barrel, up a mere 14 cents. That on a day when we've got huge escalation in the Gulf with the attacks on those tankers. Come on in, Carl Larry, oil market analyst with Refinitiv. Carl, can you explain this to me? Only $52 a barrel when there's trouble in the Gulf.
Well, you know what? We're a show me country. We need to see it happen before we actually act on it, anything right now. So I think if it escalates and things get worse, we'll definitely see that price movement much more higher than it is now.
But at the moment, it's at $52 a barrel, and my interpretation is that's because America has an oil glut. We can take care of this. We can tough it out. What say you?
Well, you know, we have an oil glut, but gluts go away quickly. I mean, you know, you have a gallon of milk in the refrigerator, it may be full for 3-4 days. By the end of the week, it's gone. And that's what we can't work with right now. We can't work with the assumption that we have a glut. We have to worry about what happens next.
Okay, well, that's an interesting analogy between oil and milk, but we'll take it. Carl, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. I see no significant movement in the price of oil. It's still at $52 a barrel. The market is now opened, and we do not have any significant loss. The Dow is off, what, 30 points in the very, very early going, a fraction of 1%. How about the S&P? Show me that, please. Yes, it is down, same amount, 0.15%. Show me the NASDAQ. Where's that this morning? And that is down a bit more in percentage terms. That's a loss of nearly 0.5%. So the techs are taking it today. 10-year Treasury yield, 2.10%. And look at gold. This is a 14-month high. You're at 13.51. Flight to safety. There you have it. David Dietz, Liz Peek, Susan Lee, Ashley Webster, all on the show this Friday morning. I've used this expression before. I'll use it again. Trouble, trouble everywhere, but the stock market's shrugging it off. Why, David Dietz?
I think number one is the strength of the domestic economy. We just saw solid retail sales being reported for May, and more importantly, I think, was that big uptick in terms of the April retail sales. You know, at the end of the day, if, you know, unemployment at a 50-year low, people have the jobs, they're spending, you know, what else is there to know?
Okay. And also a pickup in consumer spending heading into the second quarter. Also, don't forget, industrial production crossed about 15 minutes ago, double the estimates. Really? Yes, for the month of May.
Strong industrial production, strong retail sales.
Manufacturing, yep.
Manufacturing. Oh, it's all
after April had a setback, we've picked up again in May.
Exactly.
It looks like.
So we're seeing a reacceleration possibly, and that's going to mean that second quarter numbers begin to trade up a little bit. But I think the bigger picture is, where else do you go? I mean, you've got incredibly low rates around the world, $12 trillion, I think the number is, with negative rates. So think about the tens of thousands of institutions that have to earn 5, 6, 7% annual returns to meet their obligations. Where are they going to go? They're not going to go to fixed income. They're going to go to stock markets, and really the United States is the only game in town right now.
So we're only down 50 points in the very early going this morning. But I'll show you a group of stocks which is sharply lower. The chip makers. Broadcom, for example, is down 2.5%. Intel's down 2%. Micron's down 2%. This is all about the trade war with China and, in particular, restrictions on Huawei. All right, David? That's a dip. Would you buy the dip in chips?
It's all about your time.
Oh, it's good. Oh, brilliant, Stu. Go ahead. Answer.
You know, really, it's all about your time horizon, Stuart. I mean, in terms of what has a great long-term appeal, it's the secular tailwinds behind microprocessors and technology. You've got the Internet of Things. You've got autonomous driving. You've got artificial intelligence. That's all going to drive demand longer term. But certainly in the near term, they are going to be held hostage to the negotiations with China. I think the big kahuna, a big 800-pound gorilla in the room, is the health of the global economy. If we resolve the trade dispute tomorrow, does the global economy start moving up, or is there something else going on that's like, for example?
And slowing sales as well, because we know that smartphone demand has been coming down, and they back-end loaded their Q1, the first quarter forecasts anyway, so we know that there's going to be an in-demand deterioration because of slower iPhone of sales, right? And so, yeah, I think this has been pretty much expected with higher inventory levels, and it's not just going to be Broadcom, it's the entire semicon
The question
space.
is, why go there? I mean, there are a lot of sectors that you don't have to go head-on into the trade war with China, or, in particular, the dispute with Huawei. So that's a little bit like looking for trouble right now.
Why go looking for trouble?
Yeah.
But if you think it's going to get resolved, you could get some good deals.
Now, I did say that the market was shrugging off all the trouble around the world. Well, okay, it's down 88 points. That's 1/3 of 1%. I will no longer call it shrugging it off.
It's mostly the chip stocks, technology plays, Apple, and the like.
Thank you. You bailed out my analysis there, and I like that, Susan. Thank you very much indeed. Now, here's something that's important. Retailers, 600 retailers, manufacturers, tech companies, all of them together, warning President Trump about tariffs on China. They wrote a letter to the president. They want those tariffs removed. I see that as 600 big companies removing their support from the president for his trade stand with China. I don't think that's very good.
I don't think they've ever been supportive of the tariffs. I think now what they're signaling is this is actually now going to be showing up in prices. A lot of companies have they've swallowed some of these tariff costs. They've not wanted to pass them on to consumers. We've seen the heads of some of these big companies like Walmart kind of try and, suggest that they're not going to do that, but they cannot swallow these tariffs. But look, let's remember a little bit, these are the companies that got us into this situation in the first place, right? These are the companies that outsourced to China, that decided that this was the way they were going to build their bottom line. And now, so should somebody maybe pay for this a little bit? The fact that we're now 20 years too late, in my view, having to go back and force these concessions from China. These are the companies that have to help President Trump make this happen.
But
so,
you know
what?
But it's the timing of the letter,
well,
right before a possible meeting.
Walmart, Costco, Target, Gap, Levi Strauss, Foot Locker, they sent a letter, which I have here. Tariffs hurt the heartland is the title. And they say at the bottom, they say, look, we really believe in what you're doing to level the playing field. But this has got to get resolved sooner rather than later.
So why do it right before the G20
everyone.
meeting, where actually President Trump and Xi Jinping might be trying to get together on this?
Right.
That seems very undermining
the timing
to me.
is undermining.
That may be some of the trouble that's now taking the Dow down 90 points. Again, that is not a huge loss by any means, but it is 97 points to the downside, barely above 26,000. A couple of individual stocks. Let's take a look. FedEx. China has launched an inquiry into errors that FedEx allegedly made with package delivery of Huawei products. FedEx is down 1%, that's it. Southwest, the airline, extends flight cancellations through September the 2nd because of the Boeing 737 MAX jet grounding. The stock is down 20 cents, that's it. Uber, I still have not bought the stock, missed my chance.
Right.
It was there at $37.30. Yeah, my problem. Struggling to $44 a share, that's Uber, still below its IPO offering price. Facebook, I think this is big news. Let's see what our people think here. They're planning to unveil the new cryptocurrency next week. They've already signed big backers, Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, Uber among them. You don't like this, do you?
Well, look, I think Facebook, of all companies, has had such privacy issues and data protection issues. The idea that they're going to be the company that really makes for a safe platform for crypto is kind of crazy to me. But with 2.4 billion users, and with all these companies signing on, this is a company that could make this happen without a doubt.
They could make some serious money out of it,
no
too.
question.
2.5 billion people doing this?
That's exactly right.
Good move to me. What do you say, David?
Well, so now that we have blockchain technology, the potential is there to ultimately have a currency which is free of the credit card companies, free of any one country, but it's not going to be easy to develop. It raises more questions than answers. What's going to back it? How is this going to work? Is it going to, our government's going to try and crack down on it because it evades any controls and so forth? And although we have big backers here, is little bets.
Little bets, but that means
Come on,
adoption
guys.
in the future. So if Uber is going to take Facebook's cryptocurrency as payment for ride hailing, that's something. Also, don't forget, they're trying to transform Facebook. Next gen is going to be a payment system, very much like the WeChat that we see in China, which is everything to everyone, including a social network, but also a payment system as well.
You think it's a good deal and a big deal?
Great idea.
Does it legitimize it?
You're
That's the
skeptical.
question.
You think they'll
I'm
make money?
skeptical. Look, I think from the point of view of the user, what's the advantage of using cryptocurrency? Why not pay just in dollars or
because
whatever,
it's more
right?
You can't hack it.
Well, also it's
That's debatable.
You can't hack blockchain technology, can you?
It's also more
supposed
convenient as well. And this cryptocurrency is a little bit different because it's pegged to actual currencies, like a basket of them, like the yen, the US dollar, the majors, so that there's less volatility. You don't see the $8,000 up one day and down 2,000 the next day.
But the reason the credit card
good.
companies are signing on is because they're terrified that Facebook, with 2.4 billion users, which is more than any of them has, I assume, and that's totally true.
But I think
is going to launch some kind of payment system, again, like the Chinese model, which basically wipes them out. I mean, it's a defensive measure for them.
That's true, but it's a major legitimization of the whole technology when you have Facebook and all of these big companies buying in. Maybe it becomes more mainstream because
Goldman
of this.
Sachs has been there. I mean, this is not the first.
But Marcus is looking into crypto.
The skeptic gets the last word. That's David Dix.
It's still kind of odd that if you want to have a revolutionary new payment system, you would bring in Visa and MasterCard. Aren't you allowing the dogs to come into the tent, to check it out?
But it's
they've got a
adoption.
big
Once
franchise.
again, where else are you going to use this cryptocurrency?
Right.
You need the big card players to come in on it. So I think it's iteration. You got to think towards the future. You can't just look at the
it's going to be just as successful as Bitcoin.
Legitimize.
I think I better call a shot, Tom. I'm not going to buy Facebook stock.
No.
Are you?
I would. Well, if they get this up and running,
if you buy
these
Uber,
more attractive levels, yeah.
Okay.
Now that Uber accepts it, buy
And
Uber.
it's not just Facebook.
So if they break up Facebook, who gets crypto?
Right. I've got to wrap this up. Look, see that atomic clock right there? That's accurate to the thousandth of a second. That's 9:40 Eastern Time. Time's up. Liz, David, thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Check that big board. It really moves fast. A moment ago, we were down 120. Now we're down 90. Okay? That's where we are right now, down 87 points. Got it. 1/3 of 1%. It's been exactly 2 years since a gunman opened fire on Congressman Steve Scalise and several other Republican lawmakers. It was during a practice baseball game. Scalise is opening up about the shooting in a new book, and he is going to join us in our studio in the 11 o'clock hour this morning. David Scalise will be with us. Sarah Sanders leaving the White House at the end of the month. President Trump says she should follow in her dad's footsteps and become governor of Arkansas. What does her dad think about that? Governor Huckabee will join us next.
My experience with USA Air has been excellent. They really appreciate the military family, and it really shows.
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
It was funny because when we would call another insurance company, they would say, oh, we can't be USAA.
We're the Weber family.
We're the Tennies.
We're the Hells, and we're USAA members for life.
Get your USAA auto insurance quote today.
All the parts that you need to keep her on the road. For work, for school, everywhere you go. But sometimes they can be hard to find. Rock Auto's got the parts for whatever you drive. Upkeep on that work truck, you just save some big bucks. All the parts you're looking for delivered to your front door. All the parts your car will ever need. Rock Auto. All the parts your car will ever need. RockAuto.com.
Arby's $5 meal deal is the perfect bag lunch. Any of these sandwiches with curly fries and a drink for just $5. Arby's, you're the best mom ever. Arby's, we have the meat.
The Lexus ES. Every curve, every innovation, every feeling. A product of mastery.
Lease the 2019 ES 350 for $379 a month for 36 months.
Experience amazing at your Lexus dealer.
Interactive Brokers charges 3.9% for a $100,000 margin loan. Do you know how much your broker charges? Upwards from 8.32% at Fidelity or Schwab to as high as 9 to 9.5% at Ameritrade or E-Trade. Move your account to Interactive Brokers and save at least $4,400 or much more if you're trading big bucks.
All right, we're down 88 points on the Dow this Friday morning. That's exactly 1/3 of 1%. And now, there is this. Sarah Huckabee Sanders leaving her post as White House press secretary after more than 3 years in a very tough job. Here's President Trump making the announcement. Roll tape.
She's done an incredible job. We've been through a lot together, and she's tough, but she's good. And she's going to be leaving the service of her country, and she is going to be going I guess you could say private sector, but I hope she's going to, she comes from a great state, Arkansas. So if we can get her to run for the governor of Arkansas, I think she'll do very well, and I'm trying to get her to do that.
So the president's trying to get her to run for the governorship of Arkansas. I think we ought to bring in Sarah's dad, Mike Huckabee, who was the former governor of the great state of Arkansas. So tell us, Dad, is your daughter going to run for governor?
I have no idea, and I don't think she does either. The president sort of pushed her out there, you know, like bumping her out of the nest or something like that. But, you know, it could happen. I'll tell you this, is the greatest job in the world. So if she does, she'll have a great time.
Greatest job in the world? Wait a second.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, that's governor of Arkansas, greatest job in the world.
Yeah.
Held previously
Absolutely.
by you and Bill Clinton. But you're not going to tell me that the press secretary in the White House to President Trump is the greatest job in the world. It's the most difficult job in the world, and she did it very well.
She loved her job. Let me tell you, it's been hard for her to make this decision because she loved the job, loved every bit of it, and she loves the president. And one thing that you will not be seeing is some book that disparages this president, who she has such great respect for because he has treated her with nothing but extraordinary respect and class. She adores him and his whole family because of the manner in which she has been treated. And I think it speaks well of him. The people who say things about President Trump or his family, they don't know the president like Sarah does, because she was with him probably more than anybody during the day in and day out. And I'll tell you, her respect and appreciation and love for this president is profound and sincere.
Would you mind if I asked you if she ever broke? And I don't know how to define breaking, but Sarah was under some extraordinary level of attack. Personal attack. Did she ever break?
No. Amazingly, she is probably one of the most, I guess, unflappable people I know. I think part of it was that, and let me say this, if she were to run and win governorship, she would go back to a governor's mansion that she basically grew up in. And there, she saw how brutal politics can be. She's seen it, she's felt it, she's experienced it. So it really never was a shock. And one thing that she has that I think is a great quality, she never takes it personally. It rolls right off of her. And that's a remarkable trait that most people, even those experienced in politics, never develop to the level she has.
I agree. I mean, it would not roll off me. Absolutely not. I've got
Didn't always roll off her dad.
Well, look, it's Father's Day on Sunday. Congratulations, Dad. I mean, you must be a very proud man with a daughter like that. And may I add my own enthusiasm for Sarah's character and performance on the job. I did once have dinner with her, sitting next to her in the White House, and she was charming, elegant, and poised, and I'll leave it at that.
And I hope she used the right fork at the right times, too. I would be a bad dad if I did not also say I'm also just as proud of my two sons, both of whom are older than Sarah, and they are so happy they are not in the spotlight like she is. But they also take credit for her toughness. They said that the way they treated her as mean older brothers is what gave her that thick skin. And let me tell you, that is the God's truth. They super glued her fingers together when she was little, fed her a glass of mud and told her it was a chocolate milkshake, and did all kinds of cruel things. So she got tough early on in life.
We're going to leave it right there, okay? Governor, thanks for joining us. Congratulations on your daughter. We'll see you later.
Thank you so much, Stu.
Okay. I'm going to try to cover sports. I'll try. The Raptors won their first NBA championship last night. Yes, Susan, big supporter here. They defeated the Golden State Warriors. Big deal.
Yes.
First championship
ever for Canada. Yes.
The Warriors suffered at a big loss, however. Klay Thompson tore his ACL after Kevin Durant ruptured his Achilles tendon in Game 5. So it's a couple of serious injuries there. Let's get to soccer. Why not? Don't forget to watch continuing coverage of the Women's World Cup. It's on Fox. Remember, Team USA plays its next game against Chile. That will be on Sunday, noon Eastern, and it is on Fox. Back to the market. Trouble everywhere. We don't have much of a loss. 60 points down for the Dow Industrials. President Trump telling Fox and Friends which Democrat candidates he'd like to face in 2020. Next hour, we'll talk to one of the president's top campaign advisors, Lara Trump. Which candidate does she think will be the easiest to beat? That's a good question. We'll ask it.
We've partnered with ADT because we want to find out what kind of DIY projects people are taking on and what they leave to the pros. How's it going, guys?
Oh my God.
What's your best DIY fail story?
Well, we had a whole complete mess.
He hit the sprinklers and irrigation.
She wants to remodel it anyways. It was an epic fail.
Some projects you can tackle, other ones you can't. We know when it's time to call in the pros, like ADT. You're talking cameras, carbon monoxide detectors, alarm systems. They take care of it all. You have to trust the pros.
Here's important information for anyone with an annuity or structured settlement. It's your right to sell all or part of your annuity payments for the cash you need now. Whether you need to make an important purchase, pay off debt, or build a business, call the pros at Peachtree today. We can help you get the cash you need. We're professionals at buying structured settlements.
Hi, I'm Maggie from Peachtree. We've been helping people for over 20 years. We can help you turn your settlement or annuity payments into the cash you need for a new car, housing, or to manage debt. Recently, I helped a customer get money for fertility treatments to start a family. It's your money, and you have the right to use it now.
Get your money faster by calling Peachtree now at 866-601-4603. Call today for a free quote. You may even qualify for a cash advance. That's 866-601-4603 or visit peachtreefinancial.com.
The fight for border funding. Trump demands billions. Dems keep squabbling. When will Congress come through? Sebastian Gorka has insight tonight on Dobbs.
Why hunch over your old-fashioned walker or rollator when you could be walking upright with the Upwalker? The original Upwalker is the safer and more comfortable way to get you up and on your feet again.
The Upwalker is revolutionary. You're able to walk upright and get a normal gait because your balance is there.
Before, you just look down, so you just feel down, but with the Upwalker, you're straight, you're tall, it feels great.
You know, when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, I felt like I was trapped in my own house. But now with the Upwalker, it gives me the freedom to do what I want to do.
He's enjoying life. His spirits are up. His confidence is up. It has given us our life back.
The Upwalker easily folds, adjusts to your height, and features ergonomic handbrakes, a sliding seat, and sturdy 8-inch wheels that glide over a variety of terrains. Your Upwalker is backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee and comes fully assembled. Call now, and for a limited time, you'll receive free shipping, plus a free beverage holder, free backrest, and free carrying bag. That's over $100 in total combined savings.
It's a great tool to help people get walking independently. Patients can put their arms in the armrest. They look comfortable, they feel safe and secure.
I just want to say that I love this Upwalker. It's my miracle piece of equipment to get me mobile again and get me to take care of myself again.
The Upwalker comes in different models and sizes to meet your needs. Visit getupwalker.com to see if you qualify for a payment plan to fit your budget.
It's brought Mary's smile back again, and when she smiles, I smile.
So whatever your mobility issue, try the Upwalker today.
Call 800-208-3583 to save over $100. That's 800-208-3583. Call 800-208-3583. Act now.
Fancy graphic. Oh, well, we talk a lot about esports on this program, and we've got a news item on that. Super League Gaming, that is a publicly traded company. They bought Frame Rate. That is a social media platform for video games. I want to know more about this, so we're going to bring in Ann Hand, who's the CEO of Super League Gaming. Now, you're a pure play in gaming, is that that's correct?
That's right. We're really one of the only ways.
Amateur market. You're not the pros. This is the amateur market.
All about the amateurs, 2 billion plus gamers. We create live event experiences for them to compete in recreational esports. And now with the acquisition of Frame Rate, one of the fastest growing social networks around esports, we're able to also capture all these great amateur esports highlights and celebrate them.
Explain to someone like me what on earth Frame Rate does. gamers?
Well, it really establishes us not just as a community platform, we're bringing gamers together, but we're also a content platform. So think of us more like a media company over time. You know, one thing that's really unusual about gaming is the thirst for everyday amateurs to watch other amateur gameplay.
Yeah.
That's how you learn, that's entertaining. And so being the fastest growing social platform for amateur esports on the viewing side really establishes the platform.
Is it like Twitch? Or
Yeah.
Twitcher? Is that their proper name? Is
Twitch.
It? Twitch.
Yes, owned by Amazon.
Yeah, Twitch is live stream
Educate
gaming.
me, okay.
So when we are running our big tournaments, we're live streaming our amateurs in the gameplay themselves. And what frame rate is, it's on social networks, primarily Instagram, and that's where our gamers come on and they give us their highlight reels. So after the gameplay's over, it's the afterglow.
How many gamers, if I can use that expression, how many gamers you got on your platform?
Yeah, we have a few 100,000 active gamers, but more importantly, one player equals how many viewers, right? That's the kind of ratio that we're working with here. So a few 100,000 active players, but more importantly, with frame rate, we have 25 million views just through the first few months of the year.
Now, I remember when gaming was, you bought a disc.
Yes.
And you plugged it in and you played your game.
That's right. Or you went to the arcade.
Yeah, the arcade, yeah.
That's right.
Remember them? And then it was all downloading.
Yes.
But now, forget all of that. It's streaming, am I right?
Yes, it's more and more is being pushed into the cloud, and that's what a lot of the topics at E3
What does the cloud do in this?
Well, you know what it does? It means less for us. Why it's a good thing for Super League is because it really further democratizes competitive gaming. It used to be that you had to invest in a lot of hardware. Even with very competitive games today, often gamers have to invest in gaming rigs or very high-powered laptops.
Yeah.
The more that activity happens in the cloud, it means that the cost of the hardware can come down.
Oh.
So it really allows more and more people to compete in competitive gaming experiences. It's all good things.
I think I've been
There's
educated.
a lot going on up there, though.
And you are my educator. Is that okay?
That's
with you?
right. Now, the last time I was here, I told you,
Yes.
I know you're a classy man.
Where'd
But
you
I
get that
told
from?
you,
You believe
I
that?
make these things up. But I told you I was going to get you in an esports jersey.
Yes.
And I want you to know that not only do you now have your own Super League jersey, but more importantly, we had to pick your gamer ID name. Now, this was challenging. And again, I kept it classy.
What you got?
You're Varney man.
Oh, I
Number
like that.
one.
I like number one. Oh, I'll take it. I'll
That's
take
macho.
it.
That's,
How much for that?
It's free.
Free.
Oh, wow.
That's his price.
Now, I know
Gave it
you'll never
away?
wear it on air, but just remember
Very true.
SLGG.
Okay.
You can
And
buy some
hand.
stock.
It feels
Varney
good
man.
too. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's
modern
classy. Hey,
material.
this is real sports.
Good Lord. And hand, you are all right. If you're not careful, you'll be back. Thank you very much indeed, Andrew.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right. Check that big board. We're down 100 points. I'll leave it at that. Trouble everywhere. It's having some impact. Down 104 to be precise. Now this, Democrats in blue states, Connecticut, Illinois, and many others, proposing all kinds of new taxes. And it's not just the rich who are going to feel the pain. They're raising taxes all across the board. Everybody's going to pay. My take on that is next.
A really good idea. Who knows where it comes from? Out of the blue, out of the headlines, out of instinct. But when that really good trade idea hits you, you don't just let that sudden gem of genius vanish into thin air. No, you know better. Run a quick screen of your ideas, then dive deeper with Schwab's proprietary equity ratings. And at just $4.95 per trade, none of these firms are lower. Schwab is the better place for traders. Own your tomorrow.
What's up, guys? Jeff Gordon?
Wait, is that race live?
Yeah, it's Dish Playmaker. I can watch NASCAR on Fox or any sport live, even way out here.
That's great for tailgating.
Or fishing. Awesome. Listen, there's a creepy guy back there wearing
overalls.
Guy dropped his wallet. I couldn't catch him.
You won the 500
twice.
Bring HGTV on any adventure with Dish Outdoors and watch NASCAR live on Fox.
I have heart disease. Watch what I eat, take statins, but still struggle to lower my LDL bad cholesterol, which means a heart attack or stroke could strike without warning, pulling me away from everything that matters most. Because with high bad cholesterol, my risk of a heart attack or stroke is real. Repatha plus a statin seriously lowers bad cholesterol by 63% and significantly drops my risk of having a heart attack or stroke.
Do not take Repatha if you are allergic to it. Repatha can cause serious allergic reactions. Signs include trouble breathing or swallowing or swelling of the face. Most common side effects include runny nose, sore throat, common cold symptoms, flu or flu-like symptoms, back pain, high blood sugar, and redness, pain, or bruising at the injection site.
I won't let a heart attack or stroke come between me and everything I love. Neither should you. Tell your doctor to lower your LDL and reduce your risk with Repatha. Pay no more than $5 per month with a Repatha copay card.
Now playing free on Curiosity Stream.
The internet is no longer a network of computers and servers. Now it's a network of things that know us.
Digits and more great shows are now available for free viewing on Curiosity Stream. Brought to you by ADT.
Fact, we all love video doorbells. Voice assistants have changed our lives. We now control our home with a touch.
And you know what's better than all these things by themselves?
All these things combined
From the most trusted name in security, ADT.
This is a call to America's innovators and achievers. It's time to work smarter and faster than ever before with steel. The precision of Zeckelman Industries makes it possible. Our industry-leading products, manufacturing excellence, and advanced e-commerce and logistics technologies will help you build America's future better with steel. Let's get to work.
You think the Democrats just want to tax the rich? Oh, think again. In Connecticut, Illinois, and elsewhere, they're raising taxes all across the board, not just on income, but on just about everything. Everyone will pay more, and they're doing it so they can pay the pensions of retired state workers. Everyone will have to pay for the Democrat giveaways and vote buying of the past. Oh, what a mess. First of all, Connecticut. Tax hikes or new taxes on the following: high-end homes, e-cigarettes, prepared meals, alcohol, Uber and Lyft rides, digital downloads, vehicle trade-ins, parking, laundry services, interior design, and work safety clothing. All the people in Connecticut, rich and poor and in between, buy those products and they use those services, and they will all be paying more. No wonder 50 people a day leave the state. It's an exodus that can only grow. All right, how about Illinois? A thoroughly Democrat state in chronic debt. Oh, come on, that's why they're in debt. The left always caves to the demands of state workers. That's how they get elected. Governor Jay Pritzker wants to raise the state income tax. It's not just the rich who are going to pay more. The middle class takes a hit on this income tax hike. Now, here's just some of the 18 other tax hikes and extra fees that everyone in Illinois will pay. Here we go. Cigarettes and e-cigarettes, sports gambling, gasoline, alcohol, parking, streaming, vehicle registration, video gambling, ride sharing, and real estate transfers. You get the point. Everyone pays. Again, no wonder people and businesses are leaving in droves. Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, the leading Democrat contenders, all say tax the rich. That's all we need to do to get to the promised land. Don't be fooled. At the state level, in Connecticut, Illinois, New Jersey, New York, and all the other Democrat fiefdoms, everyone pays. And the exodus has only just begun. The second hour of Varney Company is about to begin. All right, we've got a 98-point loss on the Dow. The Dow is just hovering right around 26,000. Economic data just coming at us. Let's see if this moves the market. Well, we've got business inventories.
Probably not. Up half a point, 0.5%, let's put it that way, which is exactly what was expected. It's actually up from flat in April, meaning more inventory on hand, meaning less sales. And in fact, the overall pace of sales was slower as compared to March. So a little bit of a slowing of the economy in this particular sector.
And a little bit of reaction, I think, on the market there. Maybe, I mean, I'm not...
It's marginal.
Profound reaction.
Yeah.
We're down 100 points, 98 points. OK, we'll take that. Not much movement there. I want to get back to my editorial. Tammy Bruce, Independent Women's Voice president and Fox News contributor, joins me now.
Hey.
Hey.
Good Friday
Well,
afternoon.
I thought it was important to put that on the air.
Yes.
Because a lot of people are fooled by this, oh, we're just going to tax the rich. That simply isn't true.
Yes, and even as the definition of who is rich changes, because of the rhetoric that places people who maybe don't use Uber as poor, or, I mean, there's a funny kind of spin that happens. So it's almost, if you live in a certain zip code, or if you aren't living in a certain zip code, you'll be rich. Those terms continually change. But you're correct as well, of course. The more people that are in government and within those unions, then the government leadership, party leadership, is able to redistribute funds to those individuals, and it becomes a vicious circle. You can see what's happening in California, in Venezuela, in Cuba. With all of this argument, there's a point where people who really don't want to be in that system, thank goodness in this country you can still leave the state you live in, and you will leave, and that leaves people holding a bag that they should never have been holding in the first place.
I just thought it was important that people know that you're going to pay extra for everything if you live in these states. Now, hold on a second, Tammy. Earlier this morning, President Trump appeared on Fox and Friends. I want you to listen to what he said about spying on his 2016 campaign. Roll that tape, please.
They spied on my campaign, and they got caught. Whether it's the insurance policy that just in case Hillary Clinton loses, we have an insurance policy essentially saying to take him out. This is probably the worst, or certainly one of the worst political scandals in the history of our country.
We're going to get to hear more about this scandal with the Clintons and the 2016. That's going to come out pretty soon.
It will, but this also explains the reaction from the left and the Democrats to his victory wasn't just that they were upset that they lost. They knew that he would eventually see this, and that his cabinet would learn it, and that his attorney general would deal with it. Now, of course, Attorney General Barr. They knew that things they had gotten away with in the past, you don't just do this suddenly, what they did to this campaign and to this president. It's a pattern of behavior. And they had had individuals who apparently were having no problem with it or were willing to look away. They knew suddenly they had a man in the White House who would care about this and who would expose it, and they would finally be held accountable. That explains, when you just look at the nature of the panic, which is not about losing. People have lost races. They lose races all the time. You didn't see this from Hillary in 2008. This was different, and it's because the president is correct. This is an extraordinary development, and it's almost a little too frightening to think about it. It's like the sun. You don't want to look at it right directly in your eyes because you might go blind. But in this case, we must, and we have a president and an infrastructure, and the American people can handle it, and it's important because otherwise it will never end, and there will eventually be something that we can't even manage. Right now, we can deal with it.
I think there'll be some lawyering up. That's what I expect.
I think there will be, and I hope
that
we go as far as we can for the sake of the future and to eradicate this kind of behavior, which obviously is at, I think, multiple levels, and we'll need to find it.
Tammy Bruce, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy that weekend. Okay?
Thank you, you too.
See you later. Check that yield on the 10-year Treasury because interest rates look at it. It's down. It's down again. 2.08%. Yeah. That's a flight to the safety of treasuries as you've got trouble around the world and trouble in various parts. 2.08, the 10-year Treasury. David Barnson, come on in, please. It strikes me that as interest rates, like on the 10-year Treasury, go down, the dividend yield on the stocks that you like gets more and more attractive, right?
It's funny it strikes you that way because it really strikes me that way too, my friend. That is, it's absolutely true. Now, I would argue that if the 10-year yield was 3.5%, it wouldn't change the fact on a relative basis that the dividends with growth through time and the upside of these stocks is more attractive. But you're right, on a relative basis, the 10-year being that low, it really highlights, especially for income investors, the opportunity in dividend growth.
And just straighten us all out here. You can get very, very well-known companies, I'm thinking of AT&T for a moment, which yield 4, 5, 6%. AT&T yields over 6% at this moment, I think, and that yield is pretty safe. Am I right?
I don't agree with you on AT&T. I agree with you that there's a lot of companies that are, but real quickly on AT&T, they're sitting at about $250 billion of debt when you count pension obligations and leases, one of the most indebted companies in history. And so we sold AT&T. They're not growing their dividend, and that's what we want as companies growing. But Verizon, I think, is a better example of one that the dividend is very safe and that they will continue growing it. And obviously, you know, we talk all the time, there's a lot of great companies like that.
Got it. Now, this may be a bit outside your bailiwick, but I want to talk about Facebook because they're getting into cryptocurrency. And as you know, they've got some big backers. They've got Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, all involved in this move to cryptocurrency on the Facebook 2.5 billion person platform. Seems to me like a very smart move. What do you say?
Well, you're right that they're big companies they've gotten involved in this consortium, but they're putting in $10 million with an M. Okay, Facebook is a $516 billion company. Essentially, they bought a cup of coffee. That's what they really did. The investment's very small. I have no idea where it goes. The whole thing is outside, as you said, what we generally do. But in my reading of this, it looks to me like what these companies do. They dabble with things on the side. It certainly doesn't strike me as any needle-moving event.
Okay, you shot me down. I thought it was a pretty good deal, and the stock is up 3 points. But, okay, shoot me down, Barnson, if that's what you want to do. Thank you very much. David, come back soon, okay? We'll see you again. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, we did hear from the president on Fox and Friends on Fox News this morning. He says there are only 3 Democrat challengers that he cares about. I guess that's what he's saying. By the way, Lara Trump, his daughter-in-law and campaign advisor, she's on the show this hour. We're going to ask her which Democrat she wants to go up against. CBD, it's the stuff in pot that doesn't get you high. It's going to be available at Kroger stores. Veritas Farms, one of the companies that make the CBD product, is on the show. Their CEO on with us next. And the Warriors, well, they lost to the Raptors in last night's NBA final. Star shooter Klay Thompson out with an ACL injury. Another blow after Kevin Durant injured his Achilles tendon in Game 5. We're going to get into that with an NBA agent who's been in the game for 3 decades. Hour 2, just getting started.
Under this buttonwood tree is where people first gathered to form the stock exchange, which brought people together to invest in all the things that move us forward. Every day, Invesco combines ideas with technology, data with inspiration, investors with solutions. Because the possibilities of life and investing are greater when we come together.
Right along with the real heroes. Every call, every emergency is a life on the line.
Watch an encore of Fox's First Responders Live, Saturday.
Arby's $5 meal deal is the perfect bag lunch. Any of these sandwiches with curly fries and a drink for just $5. Arby's, you're the best mom ever. Arby's, we have the meat.
So Jardiance asks, when it comes to type 2 diabetes, are you thinking about your heart?
Well, I'm managing my A1C, so I should be all set.
Right.
Actually, you're still at risk for a fatal heart attack or stroke.
Even if I'm taking heart medicine like statins or blood thinners?
Yep. That's why I asked my doctor what else I could do. She told me about Jardiance.
That's right. Jardiance significantly reduces the risk of dying from a cardiovascular event for adults who have type 2 diabetes and known heart disease. That's why the American Diabetes Association recommends the active ingredient in Jardiance.
And it lowers A1C.
Yeah, with diet and exercise.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. Do not take Jardiance if you are on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with a sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
So, what do you think?
Now I feel I can do more to go beyond lowering A1C.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance today.
TrueCar is great for finding new cars. You're smart, you already knew that. But it's also great for finding the perfect used car. You'll see what a fair price is, and you can connect with a TrueCar certified dealer. Now you're even smarter. This is TrueCar.
If you don't know your numbers, you don't know your business. I learned this the hard way with my first company, so I created NetSuite, the world's #1 cloud business system.
Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/grow.
Politics, the markets, and your money.
Stunning development with the Senate. You heard this first on Fox Business.
One name brings it all together.
Rates are still historically low, and indeed they are. Fox on top, but stocks soaring.
Cavuto Coast to Coast, only on Fox Business Network.
I want to go straight to the U.S. Open at Pebble Beach, California. Our own Jerry Willis is there. Did I see Tiger Woods and Bruce Koepka right behind you moments ago?
Yes, you did, my friend, and I'm going to take you right to the money shot here. Look over my shoulder. Here's Tiger Woods in the blue sweater, blue cap. He's pitching. He just putted. He's practicing. He's getting ready for round 2. Yesterday, Tiger finished 5 behind the leader, Justin Rose. They were in the same group. What was interesting is that Rose actually tied the record for the lowest round in U.S. Open history at 6 under 65. Tiger had set that record initially. So he's going to try to come back today. It was a great round yesterday. Lots of expectations are high for today. But let me tell you what's going on right here. Players getting ready for round 2. Ian Poulter on my left over here. Jordan Spieth expected here in moments. Tony Finau coming in the gray pants and the blue jacket and the flowery cap there. They're all here. They're all practicing. This is the area that they get ready. We told you we'd bring you behind the scenes, and we have. They come in here, they pick up their balls, or their caddy more likely does. They hit balls behind me. There's a big area over here where they're actually out with their irons and their drivers, and they're practicing away. As you can see, Bruce Koepka was just down here on the left, and you can see the names Molinari, big winner, the Italian, right over here, as you can see. So it's super exciting. One thing I want to show you before we go here, you can watch these practice shots on the screen over here. The technology shows exactly where their hits come from, where they fly to, and then where they land, as you can see. Stuart, back to you.
Jerry, I admire your golf voice. You can't be loud when you're covering a golf game. You have to almost whisper. No. It's like a golf clap. It's very good. Jerry, we'll be back to you later. Thank you very much. I just want to tell our viewers that you can watch the U.S. Open all weekend on the Fox networks, and you can stream it live on foxsports.com. Also, exclusively on Fox, continuing coverage of the Women's World Cup. The next game for Team USA is Sunday. They're playing Chile. Catch that at noon Eastern Time, of course, on Fox. Now this, Veritas Farms. They make CBD products which are going to be available at Kroger stores. Now, CBD, as we always tell you, that's the stuff in marijuana that doesn't get you high. Alexander Salgado is the CEO of Veritas, and he joins us now. Alexander, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me, Stuart.
Now, now you're supplying the CBD that's going into Kroger products. I think that's right. What kind of products can I buy that has CBD in them?
Well, currently we're supplying topicals, which means is cream lotions, salves, lip balms, as well as we also have tinctures as well. We also have massage oils, different various products.
Okay, now at the moment, I understand you've got revenue of about $1.5 million for your company. What do you expect to grow that to in the future?
Sure, that was for our first quarter of 2019. We're expecting doubling those revenue numbers per quarter for the remaining of 2019.
Is that because of your, you've got Kroger on board?
Well, that's because not only Kroger on board, but we also are working with major big box chains, drug chains, and retailers all over the country. So we're also adding companies like CVS and other major retailers as well to our sales.
Okay, now CBD comes from hemp, right? You can't get THC, correct. The stuff that gets you high. You can't get that from hemp, but you get CBD from it. Now, I'm thinking of when THC, marijuana, pot, when that's legalized recreationally across the country, if it ever is, you can't easily just switch to producing bud and flower, as it's called, and THC, can you? Because it comes from a different plant, right?
Well, that is correct. Basically, it's a different strain of the plant, what would be provided. We're concentrating more on the wellness side of it. You know, obviously, like you said, whether or not marijuana ever gets passed federally legal, that's something else. But I see it more as a recreational side of it. We are trying to basically provide consumers a healthy alternative to what currently is out there.
So, is there any proof that CBD works as an anti-inflammatory?
Well, currently under the under the current regulatory environment, I cannot get into that. But you can certainly, there's a lot of information out there that's been research has been done outside of the U.S. And you can go into articles that are found through the internet that can give you that information currently. Okay, Alexander, thanks very much for joining us. We're very interested in the whole subject. A lot of people don't understand it, but thanks for being with us and telling us how it all works. Alexander Salgado, Veritas Farms. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Let's get to President Trump. Thank you very much. He spoke to Fox and Friends this morning, and he delivered a warning for Iran after the oil tanker attack in the Gulf yesterday. The president says he's going to stop them. James Carafano, one of our foreign policy guys, he says the Trump administration is exactly the kind of responsible, steady leadership the world needs to respond to Iran. He's on the show a little later this hour.
That's the way you do it. You play the guitar on the MTV. That ain't working. That's the way you do it. Money for nothing and you trust. Now that ain't working. That's the way you do it. Let me tell you, damn guys ain't dumb. Maybe.
Tonight, Maria goes one-on-one with real estate giant Larry Silverstein. Then Donna Brazil brings smart 2020 insight on WSJ at Large.
Sharing horizons that are new to us. Watching the signs along the way. Talking it over, just the two of us.
Investing responsibly for 5 decades isn't business as usual. It's investing by example.
What's going on up here?
You can't see what it is yet.
What is that? That's a Blazer? It's a Chevy Blazer?
Oh, this is dope.
This thing is beautiful.
I love the lights.
Oh man, it's got a mean face on it.
It looks like a piece of candy.
Look at the interior. This is nice.
This is my sexy mom car.
I would feel like a cool dad.
It's just really chic.
Love this.
It's gorgeous. I would pull up in this in a heartbeat. I want one of these.
That is sharp.
The all-new Chevy Blazer speaks for itself.
I don't know who they got to design this, but give them a cookie and a star.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need? Now you can sell your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment. Call Coventry Direct to learn more.
We thought we had planned carefully for our retirement.
But we quickly realized we needed a way to supplement our income.
Our friends sold their policy to help pay their medical bills. And that got me thinking. Maybe selling our policy could help with our retirement.
I was skeptical, so I did some research and called Coventry Direct. They explained life insurance is a valuable asset that can be sold.
We learned we could sell all of our policy or keep part of it with no future payments. Who knew? We sold our policy. Now we can relax and enjoy our retirement as we had planned.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify to sell your policy. Don't cancel or let your policy lapse without finding out what it's worth. Visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if your policy qualifies. Or call 1-800-519-0500. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
My prescriptions used to be really expensive, but then I went to GoodRx.com.
It just works. You put in the drug you're looking for, and bang, you've got half a dozen or more choices in front of you of pricing and locations to get it.
You never think about shopping around for medication prices.
I have good insurance, but with GoodRx, I save even more money.
What? I was paying how much?
And it's absolutely free. No cost to me whatsoever.
I get to save $1,180 a year with GoodRx. This is awesome.
Your devices are terrible with secrets.
Ah, that's it?
His social media says he's training for a marathon.
A binge-watching marathon? Nah, first run in weeks. I have trust issues.
He spent $200 on sneakers. Hey, laptop's back.
Guys, I was in a cafe with Wi-Fi. Some people use their names as passwords. What?
Stop the blah blah. Use NordVPN. Keep your online data secure and private. Download now.
Yes, they did it. The Raptors won their first NBA championship last night. They beat the Golden State Warriors in 6 games. Klay Thompson tore his ACL last night. Kevin Durant ruptured his Achilles tendon back in Game 5. Now, they are free agents, and we're expecting big contracts. We better bring in an agent. Keith Glass is with us. Now, he's been an agent with the NBA for 30 years. You are Keith Glass, aren't you?
I am.
And you're sitting right next to me.
That question I can answer.
Okay, so Kevin Durant, that's a serious injury.
Yeah.
Does he still get a big $200 million contract?
I think he does, and you have to understand something else. He is a free agent, but he has another year on his contract at his option. It's $31 million. He can opt into that contract with this injury for 1 more year, make $31 million ostensibly to rehab.
Yeah.
And then he'll be free again. The issue with that is he'll be 32 by the time he's ready to play again.
Yeah.
And in NBA terms, with a torn Achilles, that's not an optimum situation to be in.
Yeah, it's not, is it?
No.
Because he could be out for a year.
But let me say this. You're talking about 2 or 3 players that are extraordinary players. Kevin Durant is not a normal player. Kawhi Leonard is not a normal, everyday free agent. Klay Thompson, who unfortunately got hurt last night, these are great players.
Now,
so there'll be a market for them.
Straighten me out here. Kawhi Leonard, he was the MVP.
Yeah.
Right.
He's the MVP of the finals, possibly the regular season. He's a tremendous player. He put that country on his back, and they won their first NBA title.
So what kind of a deal is he going to look for?
He's going to get more. Here's the rules, okay? If you stay with your existing team, you can make about $50 million more because you're allowed an extra increase and you're allowed an extra year. So if Kawhi stays, if Kevin Durant stays, if Klay stays, they can get around $200 million. If they were to leave, they would get only $150 million, and then we would all chip in and help them out for the remainder.
Oh. Right.
That's how we do it.
Just take me through it. A $200 million contract.
Yeah.
Over how many years?
5.
That's 5 years. Okay, I'm trying to do the math here. That's $40 million.
So the Raptor fans are going to have to come to grips with their $11.50 hot dog may go to $13. That's how they do it. They pass it on.
They just pass it on to the, to the hot dog guy.
I'm just kidding. But the way this works, the NBA is based on a thing called BRI. BRI is basketball-related income. Anything that has to do with, maybe foam fingers, which are very important to get, hot dogs, ticket sales, mostly TV revenue, is lumped in to basketball-related income. And that is then split 51-49 between the players and the teams.
Thank you for explaining that, Mr. Glass.
I do the best I can.
No, you did very well.
You called me in here. I'm
someone
trying to
who
help.
knows nothing about this,
Yes.
I now know a little about
All right,
it,
there
and
you
I
go.
appreciate that. You come again, because that was good information, okay?
That
Thanks
may
very
be
much.
all I know.
No. You know a lot more. Thanks very much. I've got this to report for you. More than 600 companies sent a letter to the president telling him, hey, solve the trade dispute with China, get rid of those tariffs. They say the tariff pain is not worth any gain. How will the president respond to that? Lara Trump, his daughter-in-law, coming up on the show to respond to that. And the breaking headline on Iran, the military says they are detaining the crew, the Iranians are detaining the crew of one of those tankers. How are we going to respond? More Varney after this.
Fox Business Network on Sirius XM. Powerful financial insight on Channel 113. Plus, every story, every 15 minutes. Fox News headlines 24/7, Channel 115.
What do you look for when you trade?
I want free access to research,
Yep, TD Ameritrade's got that.
free access to every platform.
Yeah, that too.
I don't want any trade minimums.
Yeah, I totally agree. They don't have any of those.
I want to know what I'm paying up front.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you just say yes to everything?
Well, I say no to kale. Yeah, they say if you blanch it, it's better, but that seems like a lot of work.
No hidden fees, no platform fees, no trade minimums. And yes, it's all at one low price. TD Ameritrade.
This is a call to America's innovators and achievers. It's time to work smarter and faster than ever before with steel. The precision of Zeckelman Industries makes it possible. Our industry-leading products, manufacturing excellence, and advanced e-commerce and logistics technologies will help you build America's future better with steel. Let's get to work.
Introducing the only $5 meal deal in the entire world that has Arby's foods in it. Arby's, we have the meats.
We're the Nigerian brothers. John's been a professional trader for over 37 years, and Pete is one of the country's top 100 traders. On TV, we report on how we follow the smart money from Wall Street's elite, who have the massive resources to get market information before the rest of us. Their unusual option activity tells us what they're starting to trade. Our strategy uncovers why they're trading it and how to follow along for the biggest return. It works on stocks and options. It's the #1 way we choose our trades. Many of you ask, how can you do it too? So we laid out our strategy in our newest book, revealing things we've never revealed. And today we're giving some copies away for free. All you have to do is cover shipping.
Prefer video learning? Get John and Pete's new DVD for free too. Call 1-800-515-3322 or go to followthesmartmoney.com to get your free book and DVD. Call 1-800-515-3322 or go to followthesmartmoney.com now.
Getting airflow in average shirts. Getting airflow in Duluth Breeze Shooters shirts. Duluth trading Breeze Shooters shirts with tiny vent tech. Take in the wind. Only at Duluth stores and DuluthTrading.com.
Yes! Oh, yes! Yes, thank you. They're actually playing the song that I requested. You see,
Look at the beat on your face.
I have clout, ladies and gentlemen. I have clout. This show has my name on it, and by golly, I get the Beatles song I want. Because I have got another girl.
Yeah, it's a Friday song. I'll give it to you.
Oh, you like that one,
I like
don't you?
this one.
And you've never heard of it before?
I've never heard of it before. Yeah, it's a good
Consider this
cheat,
part of
right?
your musical education, Susan. All right, moving on. Chewy is an online pet supply company. They go public today. Jackie is with us on the New York Stock Exchange. Is this going to be a blowout?
Stuart, good morning to you. It looks like we're setting up for a blowout here. Right now, current indications are that this will price at $35 a share. It priced last night, or it'll open, the first trade will be around that range. It priced last night at 22. So a huge pop there on 3 million shares. Ticker symbol is going to be CHWY. Remember, this is a company that sells online pet goods, food, and other products. It's got pretty good market share. It's got about 55% of overall pet food sales. It's got about 35% of pet supplies overall as well. It's a $70 billion market for pet goods out there. So a lot of folks are excited by this. JP Morgan is running the book on this one. And, you know, we've watched a lot of IPOs this year. We've watched Uber and Lyft, WeWork, Pinterest. One interesting note here, people excited by the financials of this company. In 2018, revenues were $3.5 billion. It did report a loss of $267 million, but that was less than the year before, and it's forecast to be less this year. So this is a company that looks like it has solid fundamentals and could be worthy of that $35 opening trade. We're going to be watching for it, Stuart.
A $250 million loss, and the thing's going to spike on the IPO.
That's how it's been all year. $1 billion loss.
What do you say?
That's true.
It's better than $1 billion loss. You're absolutely right. That would be very true. Jackie, we'll come back to you for the first trade. Thanks very much indeed.
Okay.
I want to see that thing pop. Yeah. However, going the other way, the chip makers, they're all down Broadcom said, and Broadcom, chip maker obviously, they're going to take a hit because of this ban on Huawei products. What more did they say?
So this is going to be the first of many. That's the expectation on the market. Hence why we have these semicons, all these chip stocks down and dragging down the major indices today. So Broadcom being the first, they're going to take a $2 billion hit from the Huawei ban. Not a lot. It represents maybe 4.5% of their revenue.
Whoa.
But yes,
look at it, down 18
That's right.
bucks.
It's down
Ouch.
18 bucks. Yes. So basically, what people are saying is that it's not just Huawei. Yes, the blacklist may have impacted them, but it's also the slowdown in the smartphone industry, right? Smartphone sales are down, and then the likes of all these smartphone suppliers will probably be hit as well. And they've been too over optimistic with their first quarter forecast. So, higher inventories, back end deterioration, we know it's happening.
I saw Nvidia coming down big time as well, another chip maker. They were down too.
Yeah, Qorvo, Lumentum,
down $4
all of them, all 30 components of the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index down.
Okay, not a good day for the chips, I'd say. All right, back to that breaking news on Iran. The Pentagon now believes that Iran is detaining the crew of one of those tankers that was attacked in the Gulf. Joining us now, foreign policy guy at the Heritage Foundation, James Carafano. How does America respond to this? Because it seems like this is escalation. How should we respond?
Well, you said a very key word there, which was respond, not react. And I think what's very important here is that from day one of this confrontation, the U.S. has been responding. The United States pre-positioned assets in the region exactly to deal with this kind of threat. They already warned the Iranians. They've warned the world. They've already kind of said that they're not going to let this confrontation escalate out of control, but they are going to keep the straits open. So they've actually been the adult in the room here by not just reacting to what the Iranians are doing, but responding and in many ways predicting and preempting the kind of things they expected from the Iranians.
The thing is, though, we don't care about their oil. We don't care about Iranian oil. It's already virtually off the market and has been replaced by American production. I think this is just another example of how America's energy dominance allows us to be very tough with foreign adversaries like Iran.
I think that's right. And it's always been a 1-2 punch of global supplies, and the more global supplies there are, the more stable the market is. But also the other half of that is the United States' ability to bring security to the region when it needs to. It's kind of a lesson from the 1980s and Ronald Reagan. The way he dealt with the crisis back then was he relied on markets to solve the problem, but he also put U.S. military forces in the Gulf in a sustained way to make sure that those lines were open. And so in many ways, Trump has kind of borrowed from the Reagan playbook here.
Assess the risk here. Assess the danger that we have much more escalation and there's some serious military exchange. There is a risk of that, isn't there?
No, I don't think so. I think the risk is actually very low. What the Iranians are doing is kind of typical Iranian behavior. You're in a tough neighborhood, so you have to look tough. So the Iranians can't just take a pounding from the United States. They have to do stuff so everybody in the region fears them. But they can't get into a tit for tat with the United States. And so what they're basically trying to do is have it both ways, kind of covertly, subvertly, low way, kind of show that they're tough guys and they can duke it up too, but in a way that they don't actually escalate. So they're actually trying to hide the fact that they're attacking ships. So they're trying to look tough on one hand and, hey, dude, it's not our fault on the other.
But they're
so
in a real
kind of a
corner,
typical
James.
game.
I mean, they are in a real corner. Their oil exports are virtually stopped. I'm told they're down to maybe 100,000 barrels a day. That's your lot. And their economy is collapsing. They're in a corner here.
Yeah, but they can live in that corner for a long time. Remember, they've survived, tougher things than this. They survived the Iran-Iraq war, all kinds of ups and downs, and it's an authoritarian regime. And one of the great things, which I know that doesn't sound like the right word, a great thing about an authoritarian regime, but one of the things that authoritarian regimes can do really well is they can control the resources in the country. They can keep a lid on things, so they can kind of last through this. And again, the U.S. knows that, and part of our strategy is we're not pressuring them to start World War III or to force the Iranians to collapse. We're pressuring them to stay in their little corner. And from our perspective, they can stay in there forever. Or if they want to cut a deal, which is what Trump has said, they can get out of the corner. That's their choice.
I think you're an Army vet. I think you were in the Army for, was it 25 years?
I was June 14th. It's the Army's birthday.
Exactly.
Since day one. they've been there for us. We've got an actually great piece at the Heritage website at the Daily Signal by one of our other veterans, Tom Spohr. You know, we have a lot of great things in America, and the U.S. Army is maybe the best gift this country ever got.
Oh, okay. That's from an Army guy, of course. I mean, it might be different if I was talking to a Navy guy or an Air Force guy. Or
No,
Marines.
they would say that too.
Oh, no, they wouldn't. James, I'm a realist in these things. And it's the President's birthday as well. James Carafano, thanks for joining us, sir. We'll see you again soon. Thanks.
Good being with you.
President Trump, birthday guy today, he did an interview with Fox and Friends this morning. He said there are only 3 Democrats that could give him any real trouble in the 2020 election. You will hear which 3 he has singled out in just a moment. Plus, San Francisco, all they want to do is tax big business. They've now got big plans to tax companies with highly paid chief executives. Larry Elder, California guy himself. So we're going to see what he makes of all of this. He's with us shortly.
Right away, you do things to my body. I didn't know that I was starving till I tasted you. Know just how to make my heart beat faster, emotional earth.
Driverless cars or trips to Mars, $4.95. Delivery drones or the latest phones, $4.95. No matter what you trade, at Fidelity, it's just $4.95 per online U.S. equity trade.
Arby's $5 meal deal is the perfect bag lunch. Any of these sandwiches with curly fries and a drink for just $5. Arby's, you're the best mom ever. Arby's, we have the meats.
Let me ask you something. Can the past help you write the future? Can you feel calm in the eye of a storm? Can you do more with less? Can you raise the bar while reducing your footprint? For over 100 years, we've been answering the questions of today to meet the energy needs of tomorrow. Southern Company.
The day after chemo shouldn't mean going back to the doctor, just for a shot. With Neulasta Onpro, patients get their day back. To be with family, or just to sleep in. Strong chemo can put you at risk of serious infection. In a key study, Neulasta reduced the risk of infection from 17% to 1%, a 94% decrease. Neulasta Onpro is designed to deliver Neulasta the day after chemo and is used by most patients today.
Neulasta is for certain cancer patients receiving strong chemotherapy. Do not take Neulasta if you're allergic to it, or Neupogen, filgrastim. An incomplete dose could increase infection risk. Ruptured spleen, sometimes fatal, as well as serious lung problems, allergic reactions, kidney injuries, and capillary leak syndrome have occurred. Report abdominal or shoulder tip pain, trouble breathing, or allergic reactions to your doctor right away. In patients with sickle cell disorders, serious, sometimes fatal crises can occur. The most common side effect is bone and muscle ache.
Ask your doctor about Neulasta Onpro. Pay no more than $5 per dose with copay card.
I love you, Dad.
What? What? I found myself saying that all the time. And when I realized it, I just stopped saying it. And my life changed. I stayed home, mostly alone. I missed out on everything. I knew that I needed hearing aids, but the cost was ridiculous. A tiny hearing aid costs $3,000, $5,000, whatever they can get. It's just ridiculous. Well, not anymore. Thanks to Hearing Assist, I can hear clearly again, and my life is so much better. I got a pair of rechargeable, state-of-the-art digital hearing aids for hundreds, not thousands of dollars. You can't see them, and I never have to change the batteries because they're rechargeable. And right now, you can order your Recharge hearing aids from Walmart.com with free 2-day shipping to your home or delivery to your favorite Walmart store. Give the gift of hearing to yourself or someone you love.
All right, we are 1 hour and 11 minutes in, and we're down 80 points. That's about 1/3 of 1%. 26,000 is where the Dow is at. Now, President Trump spoke with Fox and Friends early this morning. Listen to what he had to say about the 2020 presidential race. Roll it.
Everybody knows that Joe Biden does not have what it takes. Okay, he doesn't have what it takes. Everybody knows.
What does that mean?
It means mental capacity. It means a lot of different things. He never did have what it takes until Obama he ran 2 or 3 times. I used to call him 1% Joe because he never got more than 1%. Then Obama came along and surprisingly took him off of, I say, the trash heap and ran. But everybody knows Joe doesn't have it.
Well, he didn't hold back, did he? Lara Trump is with us. Trump 2020 senior advisor, daughter-in-law of the president himself. Lara, welcome back to the program.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Which candidate out of the 23 would you like to go up against most?
Oh, my gosh. There are so many good ones to choose from, Stuart. It's very hard to say.
Let me turn it around. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but let me turn it around. Which would you least prefer to go up against?
You know, honestly, no one has knocked my socks off so far. I know that's a common answer. I always say I think this president is going to easily win re-election, no matter who the Democrats run as their candidate. And it will become, I think, a little clearer after the debates we see them have in the coming weeks. But the president said he's happy to run against Joe Biden, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders. He's happy.
Does any of them give you any pause?
No.
Any sort of, oh, wait a minute, I'm not sure about this?
No, not at all. You know what? Joe Biden obviously is their front runner right now. He had 8 years under the Obama administration to make some great changes in this country. Not a lot came out of that. In fact, our country got worse under the Obama administration. All the jobs left, everything else.
Your father-in-law is questioning his mental ability.
Well, I mean,
I think that's legit.
Maybe there's something to that. He has.
You're piling it on now.
Listen, I don't know. All I know is that whenever you have been a vice president for as long as Joe Biden has and served this country seemingly for 50 years and been in politics, and you don't have a whole lot to show for it, yet here's President Donald Trump, who has been in politics for 2.5 years and only as our president, and you see what he's been able to do. We're not nervous about Joe Biden. We're not nervous about any of them.
Not at all. Not in the slightest.
I just can't imagine how people who are doing better in this country, and most people are as a whole under this president, are going to not want to continue that. I think they're all going to go back and vote for Donald Trump. And I hear every day, even here in Manhattan, Stuart, from people, I promise you, going through I'm waiting at crosswalks and walks, and people are saying, we love the president. Now, here in Manhattan, they keep it a little low-key.
It's really?
Yes, but people who never voted for a Republican president before, who voted for Hillary Clinton the first go-round, have woken up and said, you know what? Donald Trump actually did what he said he was going to do. He's delivered on all these promises, and we want to keep this economy going.
Seriously? Do you actually walk on the streets of Manhattan?
Yeah, I walk everywhere.
Okay, and people really sort of whisper.
They do. They give me thumbs up. They tell me that they love the president. He's doing a great job. Keep up the great work. I'm telling you, you'd be shocked to see how often it happens here in New York City.
I have to go around in a baseball.
Come on with me.
I have to go around in a baseball hat and sunglasses.
Yeah.
Actually. Yeah, I do actually. Yes, I do.
Well, you should come in your cognito outfit with me.
I don't have an incognito. My cognito. Look, I really want to talk to you because you went with the president to England.
Yes.
You were at Buckingham Palace.
We were.
You met the Queen.
We did. It was amazing. It was such a special trip. Never in my lifetime did I ever think I would be able to go to the palace, to meet the Queen, to be a part of something like that. And there we were.
I don't know why it suddenly got rather dark.
Am I having one of my spells?
I feel like maybe I'm doing a monologue or something.
We're okay.
No, it was incredible.
I saw the president involved in very interesting conversations with the Queen.
Yes.
It looked like they got along.
They got along great. I think she was thrilled to have him there. I think she spent a lot of time preparing beforehand. I talked to several people that work at the palace. They said that she was part of every single detail of the president's visit, really wanted to make sure things went well for the president and first lady, and we were honored.
What about the lunch? Was it a lunch or just a dinner with Prince Charles?
The banquet.
Well, I wasn't part of that.
Oh, you weren't?
I was on a flight coming over from the U.S. A commercial flight that we paid for ourselves. I'd like to point that out for everyone. Everyone thinks the taxpayers paid for us.
You went first class, I take it.
Oh, well,
up the front of the bus there.
Not always.
Now, wait a second. Prince Charles is an avid global warmer. He thinks the world is coming to an end. Yes. And he had a 90-minute conversation with your father-in-law, who is not much of a global warmer.
I'm sure they both kind of gave each other their take on things, and I'm sure it was informative for both of them. So the president's always, he's always happy to hear other people's thoughts on things and really get their viewpoint. So I'm sure he was happy to talk to Prince Charles and hear what he had to say and hear his viewpoint on things.
You enjoyed meeting the Queen, didn't you?
Oh, it was amazing.
Special?
Yeah, they were all so lovely, the whole family.
Buckingham Palace is palatial.
Oh, it is. It knocked our socks off, all of us, and we're Trumps, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you do that with the Trump family?
It really did. We were all blown away, but truly an honor and just so incredible to be there.
You're going to build a palace in New York City, a rival Buck House, as we call it. Lara, look, thank you very much indeed for coming on the show again. We always appreciate when you're here.
Absolutely.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Now let's get to a much more difficult subject here. It was 2 years ago, you're looking at the scene, a gunman shot up a congressional baseball practice. Congressman Steve Scalise seriously injured. It was a very tough recovery for him, but he did make it back. He's on the show today. Steve Scalise, live on the set with me in our next hour. Stay there, please.
Introducing the only $5 meal deal in the entire world that has Arby's foods in it. Arby's, we have the meat.
I'm feeling good.
Make the most of your business card with Vistaprint.
I'm feeling good.
500 standard cards start at just $9.99 with code BC Now.
I'm feeling good.
Own the now with Vistaprint.
Interactive Brokers pays 1.9% on idle cash in your brokerage account. Do you know what your broker pays? Most U.S. brokers offer nominal interest in their brokerage accounts. Move your account to Interactive Brokers and start earning interest.
Live from Pebble Beach, special coverage of the U.S. Open. Melissa Francis brings you all the highlights plus unique insight tonight on After the Bell.
Why hunch over your old-fashioned walker or rollator when you could be walking upright with the Upwalker? The original Upwalker is the safer and more comfortable way to get you up and on your feet again.
The Upwalker is revolutionary. You're able to walk upright and get a normal gait because your balance is there.
Before, you just look down, so you just feel down. But with the Upwalker, you're straight, you're tall. It feels great.
You know, when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, I felt like I was trapped in my own house. But now with the Upwalker, it gives me the freedom to do what I want to do.
He's enjoying life. His spirits are up. His confidence is up. It has given us our life back.
The Upwalker easily folds, adjusts to your height, and features ergonomic handbrakes, a sliding seat, and sturdy 8-inch wheels that glide over a variety of terrains. Your Upwalker is backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee and comes fully assembled. Call now, and for a limited time, you'll receive free shipping, plus a free beverage holder, free backrest, and free carrying bag. That's over $100 in total combined savings.
It's a great tool to help people get walking independently. Patients can put their arms in the armrest. They look comfortable, they feel safe and secure.
I just want to say that I love this Upwalker. It's my miracle piece of equipment to get me mobile again and get me to take care of myself again.
The Upwalker comes in different models and sizes to meet your needs. Visit getupwalker.com to see if you qualify for a payment plan to fit your budget.
It's brought Mary's smile back again, and when she smiles, I smile.
So whatever your mobility issue, try the Upwalker today.
Call 800-208-3583 to save over $100. That's 800-208-3583. Call 800-208-3583. Act now.
We come all the way back. We were down 100, now we're down 30, so it's pretty much of a go-nowhere Friday. Trouble all around the world, but the market is not responding to that. How about this one for you? San Francisco wants to tax big businesses. What's new in that? Thing is, they want to tax them some more. The latest proposal is to tax companies for having highly paid CEOs. and they're going to use the money to pay for free mental health care. Larry Elder is with us, Salem radio talk show host. Larry, this is just San Francisco kind of milking Silicon Valley. I think that's what's going on here, right?
Right. Well, what else is new? The thing I find interesting about this, though, Stuart, is that in 2004, California voters passed a ballot initiative to tax millionaires 1% for mental health services. So since 2004, they've been generating about $2 million a year, and one recent audit suggests that hundreds of millions of dollars of this money has been unspent. So we've already got a tax statewide to deal with the problem that the San Franciscans are going to have to deal with right now.
But if it wasn't for Silicon Valley and all those big tech companies that are in Northern California, right outside San Francisco, the economy of Northern California would be really nowhere near where it is now. But look, the bottom line to me is they just think of big tech and Silicon Valley as a cash cow. It's there to be milked. That's what it's for, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's how they see it. And there are also the voters in that city are going to face two other tax initiatives, one to raise money to deal with wealth inequality, whatever that means, and the other one is to deal with transportation issues. They're going to tax Uber and Lyft. So sooner or later, these companies that find this city so attractive are going to rethink their assumptions and go elsewhere. It's just a question of
Larry,
when and how much.
No, come on, Larry. They're not. Do you think Apple's going to move out of Palo Alto? I mean, you think that all these companies, I mean, they're established there. I used to live in San Francisco, and those companies are still there. They've been taxed to the hilt all this time. They're not going to leave. They're going to stay there.
When they expand operations, are they going to stay there? And when other places offer them the same kinds of tax incentives and goodies that, for example, Amazon was offered by New York City, you think they're not going to rethink their assumptions down the road? Sooner or later, people are going to realize that they have other options and go somewhere else. We're finding a lot of people leaving California already. The last time we were on, you said that California has a surplus. They do, on paper. They also owe $1 trillion in unfunded pension liabilities, and sooner or later, people are going to rethink their assumptions and either vote differently or go somewhere else.
Okay, and that is a story that we've been following. State governments, often run by Democrats, huge pension liability, taxing everything to pay for it. And I think that's also true of California. But look, Larry, Sunday, right. Father's Day, you've got a new book out, I think, right? A Lot Like Me, A Father and Son's Journey to Reconciliation. That's an intriguing title. Tell me.
It's about the 10-year period of time my dad and I did not speak to each other. I'm 25 years old, and I sat down with him. We had an 8-hour conversation, and I found out that he was a magnificent man. And so what I'm urging people to do, if you have an estranged or difficult relationship with your father, reach out while they're above the ground. You'll be surprised at how much you've evolved, how he's evolved, and how you've misunderstood each other. That's what the book is all about. Okay. Rethink your assumptions. It's a difficult job being a father.
Hold on a second. You were estranged for 10 years, didn't speak to him, and then you had a long conversation and figured out that the man was a great guy. That's the subject of the book.
That's right. That's the subject of the book. My dad was a military guy. He was gruff. He was rough. World War II veteran stationed on Guam during World War II. And a lot of people have dads like that. I wanted a dad like Ward Cleaver. That's the sitcom that was in the 60s. My dad wasn't like that. But as I got older and older, he got smarter and smarter and wiser, and I got dumber and dumber. We sat down. We had an 8-hour conversation where we hashed everything out.
Oh, man, I wish you'd had that on tape. That would be something now, wouldn't it? Just great. Larry, I'll buy that book. I'll contribute to your retirement fund, and I'll read it, too. How about that?
I'll need a retirement fund. I live in California. I'll need it.
Exactly. Yes, you do. We'll see you later, Larry. Thanks. All right, Bernie Sanders going after Amazon for offering the new high-interest credit card to poor people. Senator Sanders calls that greed. He wants to rein them in. My take on that coming up next.
The investment world is full of complex and expensive products. At Sector Spiders, we recognize the need for lower costs, more clarity, and greater focus. So we wrote a new chapter for today's investors. Sector Spider ETFs divide the S&P 500 into 11 distinct sectors. You can see exactly what you're investing in with full transparency. Each sector has the diversification of a mutual fund, the flexibility to tailor your investment strategy, the all-day tradability of a stock, and the tracking of an index. Sector Spider ETFs can be used to customize your portfolio allocations, overweight or underweight your sector exposure, and minimize single stock risk. Now it's time to turn the page to a clearer, more focused approach. Sector Spider ETFs, the next chapter in investing. Before investing, consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses. Go to sectorspiders.com for a prospectus containing this information. Read it carefully. Visit us at sectorspiders.com.
From your music to your teams to stuff that just makes you laugh, connect to it all on SiriusXM with packages starting at $5 per month plus fees. Listen in your car, on your phone, online, and at home, and get ad-free music from every genre, plus sports, comedy, talk, news, and more. Connect with what matters to you on SiriusXM. Visit SiriusXM.com/listenfox or call 844-376-3337 to learn more and subscribe.
This is a call to America's innovators and achievers. It's time to work smarter and faster than ever before with steel. The precision of Zeckelman Industries makes it possible. Our industry-leading products, manufacturing excellence, and advanced e-commerce and logistics technologies will help you build America's future better with steel. Let's get to work.
I really needed the cash now, and I was getting regular payments from an insurance company. So I called Peachtree.
And I helped Matt get a lump sum of cash.
Thanks, Jenny.
We're Peachtree people. It's what we do.
Turn your structured settlement or annuity payments into the cash you need now. Call Peachtree.
I didn't want to max out my credit cards or take out a loan, so I called Peachtree.
I told Monique it was her money. I just helped her get it sooner.
And now I'm debt-free, thanks to Chris.
We're Peachtree people. It's what we do.
If you're getting regular payments, don't go into debt. Call Peachtree now to get your money.
I needed money to start a business, but I didn't want to sell all my payments. I knew Peachtree could help.
I got Kim a lump sum of cash, and she still has payments coming in.
Thanks, Andy.
We're Peachtree people. It's what we do.
If you need money, call Peachtree and turn your settlement into cash.
We're Peachtree people. It's what we do.
Call now for a free quote. Call 866-508-9192. Call today.
Amazon will introduce a credit card for people who can't otherwise get one. They're going to call it the Amazon Credit Builder. Of course, they are self-interested. They would love to have more people buying their stuff. Poor people get a credit card, Amazon gets more business. That's the deal. Greed, says Bernie Sanders. This kind of greed makes the poor even poorer, he says. What he picked up on was the 28% interest that the Amazon card will charge borrowers. And yes, 28% is indeed a very heavy load. Bernie has introduced legislation that would cap rates at 15%. Going after Amazon for charging that eye-popping 28% interest is smart politics, especially when it's charged by a giant corporation founded by the richest person in the world. Nobody's going to listen to the reason for that 28%, which is there's big risk lending to people with no or bad credit, and high interest covers that risk. That is a losing argument in the public square. Amazon is an easy political target with this one. It will go ahead with its credit builder card, though. It will go ahead, but Bernie will win political points simply because he's going after the big bad corporation. That is his theme. Last week, he attended Walmart's shareholder meeting and made headlines calling out the very wealthy Walton family. Indeed, all the leading Democrat presidential contenders are going after the big, bad corporation. Break them up, tax them, fine them, legislate wage levels, cut executives' pay. Hating the corporation is as big a plank in their platform as hating President Trump. But think this through. Would America be better off if we reined them in or broke them up? Oh, I think not. I like the innovation that big tech has given us. I like the way big tech money flows into other industries and improves them. But above all, I like freewheeling capitalism. You get that sense of energy and drive. I don't like the idea of Bernie Sanders running American business. He'd run it into the ground. Got that? You will be hearing a lot more about this. The demagoguery will be intense. Bernie is laying the groundwork. As we so often said, it is going to be capitalism versus socialism in 2020. The third hour of Varney and Company is about to begin. I need reaction to my little rant there. The man right in the middle of Silicon Valley. That's the man right there. He's Steve Hilton, host of The Next Revolution on the Fox News channel. Look, Steve, I think Bernie's onto a political winner here. Going after Amazon, charging 28% on a credit card. Come on, that's easy politics. It's a winner. What do you say?
I think that's right. And it's interesting that actually the assault on big tech is coming from both sides of the aisle. You see Republicans now weighing in on grounds of censorship and so on. But I think the real point that underlies what you're saying, and I completely agree with your fundamental argument there, which is that if we want a better society, if we want new products and services, if we want people to earn more, if we want to have a rising standard of living, we know that it's capitalism that delivers that, and it's corporations who in their pursuit of profit invent new things that people want to buy. And remember, none of that is compulsory. People want to buy it because they like it, they think it's good. Yeah. Totally agree with that. I think that and I also like your phrase freewheeling, but you see what that depends on, and I think what we don't have enough of, is competition. And I think that's the area that we can legitimately focus our criticisms and say, look, you've got to have competition. It's actually free markets depend on competition in too many sectors. Tech is one of them, but you see it throughout the economy, in healthcare and insurance, in airlines, you know, right across the board. You've seen a concentration of industries where you get less and less competition. And I think in many ways, competition is a better alternative to detailed regulation. If you have competitive markets, you don't need that government micromanagement of business that Bernie is all about.
Yeah, give me competition rather than government control any day of the week. That's what we would like to see. Now, I've got to ask you about Facebook. They've officially announced that they've got this cryptocurrency deal coming up. They've got some big backers for it. Visa, PayPal, Uber, they're all involved in this cryptocurrency deal that Facebook's going to put out there. It seems to me like a great idea. I think it's a winner. What do you say?
Well, I think the fact that they've taken their time over it, and as you say, they've got a lot of serious support for it, I think lifts it into the realm of something that is realistic and feasible and could have a mass application. Until now, it's been a bit of a minority sport, if you like. And I think this could be a game changer.
Yeah, I think so. And the market likes it. The stock's up $3 now, back to 180 on Facebook. Do you happen to know anything about Tim Cook's visit to the White House yesterday? He met with the president. I don't think he was there to discuss prison reform. Any idea what he might have been talking about?
Yes, he's part of the Workforce Development Initiative. I think it's called the Council for the American Worker, that Ivanka Trump is leading on. And that is focused. It's actually one of the more brilliant initiatives of this administration that doesn't get covered enough, because just think about this, Stuart. This week we saw a really interesting piece of data come out, which is that the gap between the number of vacancies in the economy and the people to fill them is the biggest that it's ever been. What that tells you is that the pro-growth policies are boosting the available jobs, but people don't have the skills to take them. And that's what that Workforce Development Initiative is all about, that Ivanka Trump is leading, is giving American workers the skills they need for the future. And they've got a whole bunch of private sector companies involved in that, giving out apprenticeships and thinking about how they train their workers and people who don't work for them for the future. And I think that's what Tim Cook's there to talk about, and it's really worthwhile.
Well, that's very interesting. I thought it would be China or antitrust or something or other, but that's very interesting. That's a good reason for the man to be there, I got to say. Steve Hilton, thanks very much indeed. We'll catch your show 9 o'clock on the Fox News channel on Sundays. I'm going to break in because on the left-hand side of your screen, that's Chewy, OK? They went public today. First trade, well, the trade currently is $38 a share. That's up $17 from the offering price. That's a 77% gain. Have we got Jackie there at the New York Stock Exchange? It really was a blowout, wasn't it?
It really was. $14 over where it priced last night at 22. The first opening trade today, $36 on 6 million shares. You can see it's setting new highs as we're talking here right now. now trading around $39. But this was a 46.5 million share deal, and it was very, highly anticipated, and people were excited about it. The pet market is worth $70 billion, and they have a substantial share of that online, sales, about 55% of the pet food sales and 35% of the pet supplies. Remember, PetSmart owns about 3/4 of this company as well, so this is seen as bringing these entities together. JP Morgan was the lead book runner on this deal, but certainly looks like right now, Stuart, sometimes these things can go south, but we've seen great success with this deal trading at $39.29 at the moment.
That's interesting, though. PetSmart owns 75% of Chewy, so that's bricks and mortar getting into online. Very smart move. Jackie, thanks very much indeed. It was indeed a blowout open. Staying on your money, check that big board. Overall, the market is down not very much. You've got a loss of, 48 points. That's it. The Dow's at 26,000. Of course, we're watching interest rates. A lot of focus on that these days. The yield on the 10-year Treasury right now is 2.09%. That yield is down as anxious money moves into Treasury securities, forcing the yield down and the price up. That's what's happening. That's a flight to safety, and you're looking at it right now. We're also watching the price of oil. Where are we now? $52.72 a barrel. That really is an oil market that's shaking off this tension in the Gulf of Oman and the tanker attacks and all the escalation there. No real response for oil. All right, today marks the second anniversary of when that gunman opened fire on Congressman Steve Scalise and several other Republicans during a practice baseball game. Now, Steve Scalise spent the next few months in a grueling recovery. Then he returned to Congress. It was a dramatic moment. Congressman Scalise is now opening up about the shooting in a new book. There is his return to Congress. You're watching it right now. Well, he's going to be in our studio after this break.
The single click of the trade button. All your digging, all your vetting comes down to this one moment. Pennies matter, windows close, prices vanish. Now, you could just click and hope you get the price you want, but you know better. Schwab's price improvement helped get a better price on 95% of orders. It's why we've been rated a best online broker for trade reliability. Schwab is the better place for traders. Own your tomorrow.
Right along with the real heroes. Every call, every emergency is a life on the line.
Watch an encore of Fox's First Responders Live, Saturday.
Arby's $5 meal deal is the perfect bag lunch. Any of these sandwiches with curly fries and a drink for just $5. Arby's, you're the best mom ever. Arby's, we have the meats.
The world's first 6-function multi-pro tailgate, available only on the next generation GMC Sierra.
During GMC's Truck Month, get 0% financing on most GMC Sierra and Canyon models, or get over $9,500 total value on this next generation Sierra SLT when you finance through GM Financial. GMC, Truck Month like a pro.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need? Now you can sell your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment. Call Coventry Direct to learn more.
We thought we had planned carefully for our retirement.
But we quickly realized we needed a way to supplement our income.
Our friends sold their policy to help pay their medical bills. And that got me thinking. Maybe selling our policy could help with our retirement.
I was skeptical. So I did some research and called Coventry Direct. They explained life insurance is a valuable asset that can be sold.
We learned we could sell all of our policy or keep part of it with no future payments. Who knew? We sold our policy. Now we can relax and enjoy our retirement as we had planned.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may qualify to sell your policy. Don't cancel or let your policy lapse without finding out what it's worth. Visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if your policy qualifies, or call 1-800-519-0500. Coventry Direct, redefining insurance.
Having an idea for a business was easy, but without the right team and the right tools in place, it's just an idea. That's why I use NetSuite.
NetSuite is the world's #1 cloud business system. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/grow.
Politics, the markets, and your money.
Stunning development with the Senate. You heard this first on Fox Business.
One name brings it all together.
Rates are still historically low, and indeed they are. Fox on top, but stocks soaring.
Cavuto Coast to Coast, only on Fox Business Network.
I want to talk about an important anniversary. June 14th, 2017, 2 years ago exactly, today. Congressman Steve Scalise, Republican Louisiana, he was shot in the hip by a lone gunman. He was practicing for a congressional baseball game in suburban Virginia. Though it wasn't deadly, his journey back to recovery was long, and it was certainly grueling. However, his optimism and what I would call a poised disposition never, ever wavered, and I know this. A source for inspiration in an otherwise difficult world of politics. Well, Congressman Steve Scalise wrote this book. Here's the title. What is it? Back in the Game. The One Gunman, Countless Heroes, and the Fight for My Life. That's the title. And he's with us now. Congressman Steve Scalise in New York, sitting next to me. Congressman, welcome back.
Thank you, Stuart. Great to be sitting right here with you.
I'll shake that hand, sir.
Let me present you with your own signed copy of Back in the Game.
I'll take that, too.
Absolutely.
How are you doing?
Doing great. Getting better all the time. Finished all my surgeries. I had 9 surgeries to put everything back together. There was a lot of internal damage and a lot of miracles.
Is this book about your comeback, about your recovery?
Yeah, that's what I wrote the book about. There were so many people that were following my recovery, praying for me, and I talked about how much that gave me strength during the tough times and gave my family strength. And I wanted to really tell the story, though, through the eyes of the heroes, the people that saved my life, the police officers, the firefighters, the paramedics, and, of course, colleagues that came to my defense, like Brad Wenstrup, to put a tourniquet on to save me so I could make it to the hospital. All the doctors that saved my life, and a physical therapist who taught me how to walk again.
Was it that close?
Yeah, my doctor told me that the night of the shooting, there were at least 2 different times that they weren't sure if I was going to make it through the night. I had lost almost all my blood. I literally had a 0 blood pressure when I showed up at the hospital. And he said it wasn't a matter of minutes. He said it was maybe another minute and you wouldn't have made it. And most people don't make it. So I'm blessed. I mean, God definitely performed a lot of miracles that day.
The way you're talking, I suspect you are a Christian.
I am.
Did your faith bring you through?
My faith was tremendous. And literally when I went down, I started crawling away, and I knew I was shot, but I could make it about 20 feet. We put a picture actually in the book of the trail of blood. And then my arms gave out and I couldn't move anymore. And at that point, I just started to pray. And it gave me an incredible sense of calm, knowing I'd put it in God's hands. And I didn't know if I was going to make it through because I could still hear the shooting. But I prayed to God, and He answered all of those prayers.
Right after the shooting, there were universal calls for unity. Come together, because look what just happened. You must be a little disappointed that 2 years later, we haven't come together.
Well, there are moments where it comes, and that was clearly one of those moments where people really did come together, and it was so special to see it.
That moment.
And it shows us we can get to that point. Right now, we're not at one of those points, unfortunately, but it is like a pendulum that swings back and forth. And I think we need to keep reminding ourselves and everybody else that we're a country that's built on our ability to disagree with each other and even with our government, but it's a civil discourse. It's how we talk about it. Disagree with people based on your ideas and try to present your ideas and sway people, but don't try to make these attacks personal. And I think that's where it breaks down, is where people go after the personality of another person as opposed to sticking with the issue.
Okay. That's the shooting, that's the recovery, that's the book. Now I want to get into today's rough and tumble
There's
politics.
a lot going on.
I just have to do this. I'm very sorry. President Trump took on House Speaker Pelosi this morning, earlier today, in a conversation on Fox and Friends. So here's him taking on Nancy Pelosi. Roll tape.
It's a disgraceful statement. I call her Nervous Nancy. She's a nervous wreck. And I'll tell you what, for her to make a statement like that is outrageous. Her party got caught spying. Andy McCabe is a disaster. But the bottom line is they spied on a campaign of another candidate and another party. It may be the single biggest political crime in the history of our country. They spied on the opposing party's campaign using the intelligence apparatus of the United States.
The president was fairly quick to use a personal attack there.
Well, the things that were said about him were very personal and very inaccurate. I mean, Nancy Pelosi's recently said that he should be in jail. That's so far over the line and by the way, backed up with nothing. I mean, they've been talking about conspiracies and collusion for 2 years now. And even with the Mueller report coming out, it made it very clear there was no collusion.
He flipped the switch.
In fact,
he flipped the script. That's what he did.
Yeah, and he put it back on them to say,
Mueller in Russia, he turned around about...
let's talk about what really did happen. Not hypotheticals, but what really did happen is Russia did try to interfere with our election when Barack Obama was president. Who's asked Barack Obama, what did he do about it? Did he know about it? Why didn't he stop Russia from interfering? President Trump, by the way, has taken very direct action against Russia for that interference. He's kicked officials out. He's imposed sanctions, and he's been doing some things, working with states to make sure that Russia can't interfere with the next election. And so for them to make these kind of baseless claims, let's get back to doing the work of the American people. There is a crisis at the border right now. The president submitted a request for emergency funding to take care of a lot of these kids that are coming over that have real serious, dire health needs. And Speaker Pelosi won't even bring that bill to the floor. It's been over a month. Look, when Barack Obama asked us when we were in the majority, for that kind of supplemental request for a crisis at the border, when Barack Obama was president, we responded in less than a month and passed the full amount that the president requested. It's time for Speaker Pelosi to take action and deal with those real problems. Stop the name calling. Let's get to work.
Steve Scalise, it's great to see you back.
Stuart, great to be with you.
Shake my hand again, sir. Great pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Steve. All right, listen to this. Amazon facing a new lawsuit over its Alexa voice assistant. The company is accused of illegally recording kids' voices. Full story for you next.
Fight for border funding. Trump demands billions. Dems keep squabbling. When will Congress come through? Sebastian Gorka has insight tonight on Dobbs.
At Burger King, feed your appetite your way with our flame-grilled Whopper meal deals for $4, $5, and $6. Get the Whopper Junior meal for $4 or the flame-grilled Whopper meal for $5. Still hungry? Get the double Whopper meal for $6. It's Whopper meal deals only at Burger King.
Hi, Phil Swift here for the Flex Seal family of products. Now, all the strength of original Flex Seal is available in portable, powerful minis. Flex Minis easily fit in your toolbox or glove compartment, making them perfect for quick repairs on the go. Now it's easy to take the power of Flex Seal everywhere you need it, any time of year. From the toughest jobs to a simple repair, Flex Minis are always there. Now with Flex Minis, you can grab and go. Plus, they're freaking adorable. Flex Minis are lightweight, portable, and so easy to use. Fishing, hunting, or camping, now you can make quick, on-the-spot repairs during all your outdoor activities. Whether it's Flex Tape, Flex Glue, or Flex Seal, imagine everything you could do with Flex Minis.
If you want to know how you could get gold without having to break in here, then listen up. Because thanks to Monex, a trusted name in precious metals investing for over 50 years, you can get free gold. Monex helps you acquire premium gold products to help you diversify your portfolio, whether you're an experienced investor or a novice investor. And for a limited time, new customers who buy at least 20 1-ounce gold coins from Monex will receive a 1/10 ounce gold American Eagle coin for free. Call us now, and you'll receive a free investor kit just for calling that will tell you more about the diversification properties of gold, along with the many other benefits it can provide for investors. Don't pass up your opportunity to get free gold. Call Monex now.
My prescriptions used to be really expensive.
But then I went to GoodRx.com.
It just works. You put in the drug you're looking for, and bang, you've got half a dozen or more choices in front of you of pricing and locations to get it.
You never think about shopping around for medication prices.
I have good insurance, but with GoodRx, I save even more money.
What? I was paying how much?
And it's absolutely free. No cost to me whatsoever.
I get to save $1,180 a year with GoodRx. This is awesome.
However you take your business card, make the most of it with more shapes, stocks, and finishes from Vistaprint. Now's the time to try 500 standard cards starting at just $9.99 with promo code VCNOW. Own the now with Vistaprint.
Bad PR for Amazon's Echo, you know, their Alexa product. According to a new lawsuit, they've been illegally recording and storing the voices of children without their parents' consent. Jackie DeAngelis joins us from the Exchange. What's going on with this, Jackie?
Hi, Stuart. Well, it's a new lawsuit. It was filed in Seattle, and it alleges, as you said, that Alexa's recording of children, storing their recordings, it's violating their rights in at least 8 different states. And here's what what the plaintiffs are asking for. The suit is seeking an injunction. That would mean that Amazon actually has to get consent before it records the minors. It would also have to safeguard against future instances of this happening. And in each case, there could be up to a $5,000 penalty for each specific instance. The suit is also looking for class action certification. And as you know, when plaintiffs join together and file in that way, it certainly makes it a larger situation. Big black eye for the company in dealing with this, obviously, because it's dealing with minors, not even necessarily adults. But here's what they had to say on their website about it. Quote, "If you've not given us permission to collect child's personal information, we may make available certain voice services intended for children." They go on to say, "We may process your child's voice recordings to provide these services, but we will not store these voice recordings." And it really creates a problem because sometimes these devices are triggered when they are not spoken to, Stuart, you know, regardless, just hearing the ambient sound in the room, and they can overhear things that are private. Kids don't necessarily understand all the rules of privacy, and they don't really know how to protect themselves.
I'm sorry, I just don't want anybody listening in or recording any conversation in my house. Period. It's as simple as that. Jackie, good story, and thanks for covering for us. Good stuff. Now this, Kim Kardashian returned to the White House, again pushing for criminal justice reform. Coming up next, we're going to cover this from the White House. I want to know, what kind of prisoners will this apply to?
FoxBusiness.com, your portal to all the business information you need. Access all of our exclusive content, including shows, market news, tweets, live radio, and podcasts.
Sharing horizons that are new to us. Watching the signs along the way. Talking it over, just the two of us.
Investing responsibly for 5 decades isn't business as usual. It's investing by example.
Hello, darkness, my old
More details incoming involving Volkswagen and the growing scandal.
Dissatisfied customers filing complaints against the German automaker.
Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, when my eyes were stared by the flash of a neon light, split the night and touch the sounds of silence.
Not gonna happen.
That's it. I'm calling Kohler about their walk-in bath.
My name is Ken. How may I help you?
Hi, I'm calling about Kohler's walk-in bath.
Excellent.
Happy to help.
Huh?
Hold one moment, please. It's soft. The Kohler walk-in bath features an extra wide opening and a low step-in at 3 inches, which is 25 to 60% lower than some leading competitors. The bath fills and drains quickly, and the door ensures a watertight seal, so you never have to worry about leaks. Kohler's walk-in bath was designed with convenient handrails for added stability and safety. The wide ergonomic seat is tilted back for comfort and stability. It has a channel so water won't pool on it, and it positions you perfectly by the controls, while the heated seat soothes your back, neck, and shoulders, warming up your body before, during, and after the bath. Kohler is an expert in bathing, so you can count on a deep soaking experience.
Honey, are you seeing this?
The Kohler walk-in bath comes with powerful, fully adjustable hydrotherapy jets and our exclusive bubble massage.
Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
Everything is installed in as little as a day by a Kohler certified installer. And it's made by Kohler, America's leading plumbing brand.
We need this bath.
Yes. Yes, you do. A Kohler walk-in bath provides independence with peace of mind. Call 1-800-926-5854 and ask about saving $1,000 on a walk-in bath. Or visit KohlerWalkInBath.com for more info.
Would you mind passing my book there?
Once again, that's 1-800-926-5854. And financing is available for qualified purchasers.
All right, 2 hours into the trading day, and we're down just 30 points, and it's an even split, 50-50 between winners and losers among the Dow 30. However, the chip makers are taking it on the chin. Broadcom says it's going to take a big financial hit because of the restrictions on Huawei, the Chinese company. That's hurting all of the chip makers, but Broadcom is down over 6%. They're all down today. Got that? Now this, more than 600 companies warned President Trump about tariffs on China. They sent a letter to him. Deirdre Bolton is with us. Now,
it's a long list, Stuart. 600
but the timing,
and big names. The
timing. Right before a proposed meeting with Xi Jinping, 600 companies say, wait a minute, we don't like these tariffs.
And these are companies that every single American knows. So it's Walmart, Target, Costco, Gap, Levi Strauss, Foot Locker. So they're saying the trade war with China will damage the U.S. economy, lead to job losses, and harm millions of consumers. They say an escalated trade war between the U.S. and China is not in the country's best interest. They also cite in this letter that they wrote to the White House, they say 25% of tariffs on an additional $300 billion worth of goods would add more than $2,000 in costs for the average American family of 4. But I think you're right. The idea is the timing. Before the president goes, they don't want these additional tariffs to be levied. But
yeah, I mean, it's really intruding right into the middle of a tense negotiations.
It certainly is. And 600 is a big number.
And not on the president's side.
That's right.
Oh, okay. Deirdre, thank you. There was indeed a big meeting at the White House yesterday. President Trump welcomed Kim Kardashian West and some business leaders too, all about his prison reform initiative. Now, this morning, the president called into Fox and Friends on the Fox News channel, and this is what he had to say about it. Roll tape.
Well, the whole criminal justice reform's been amazing because it's been very, very conservative and very, very liberal. Everybody got together. It was unbelievably bipartisan. Nobody could get it done. They all said it was impossible. The Trump administration got approved. Now, nobody writes about them, okay, because they don't want to write about them. You know, the Times barely covered it. And yet, if I were a liberal Democrat and I did criminal justice reform, it would be the biggest story in the history of the New York Times.
Brooke Rollins is with us, Assistant to the President for Strategic Initiatives. Brooke, this is not the kind of issue that I associate with a Republican president. Why is he so gung-ho for it?
You know, what an honor. Yesterday was a great day, and to see this president lead on, I believe, one of the great issues of our time, which is criminal justice reform, has been really, really awesome. And while you wouldn't necessarily associate Republicans with criminal justice reform, in fact, the states have been working on this for more than a decade. My Texas led the way. Now I'm here at the White House helping on the issue here. And so it really is. It's become a Republican issue. It's become a very bipartisan issue. But it's the leadership of our side that's really made this happen.
What kind of criminals, I hate to use that expression, but what kind of criminal will be getting out of prison because of this initiative?
Well, it's really a wholesale approach at criminal justice reform. Right now, America has 4% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's incarcerated. So you think about what that means for taxpayers, what it means for families. The recidivism rate is terrible. So the efforts focused in the states and now here in Washington is really on the non-violent offender and mostly low-level drug users, that instead of, you know, sending them to rehabilitation or to drug courts, we put them in jail in many respects. So changing that entire approach so that instead, while they're in prison, they have educational programs, we figure out what kind of jobs they can get when they come out, is all really important and a big part of the package.
Is it possible to talk in terms of thousands of people getting out early?
You know, it's really in the hundreds, probably lower thousands. And frankly, that is, you know, again, they're all coming out anyway. 95% of those who move into our prison system eventually come out back into our communities. So what we can do for the, you know, lower 1,000s who are coming out under this approach, but truly what we're trying to do is increase public safety, reduce recidivism. And these efforts have worked in the states. Texas's crime rate is down 30% after closing 8 prisons and moving more into the education and rehabilitation side. It really works. So kudos to this president who is fighting for the forgotten American every single day. And no one's more forgotten, perhaps, than our men and women in our criminal justice system.
Brooke Rollins, thank you very much for being with us today on an important occasion with a very important issue. We appreciate it. Thanks, Brooke.
It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
I want to bring in someone else who was in the room with the president yesterday. That man there is Steve Preston. He's the CEO of Goodwill. All right, Steve.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Good morning. I'm sorry, I go through the formalities here. I get carried away with the speed of things. Are you hiring for Goodwill former prisoners?
Well, absolutely, but we do two things. We're actually a large not-for-profit social enterprise, and we employ 130,000 people. Many people coming out of incarceration get hired into our network, and we provide them supportive services. We train them. They get a job right away. But also, very importantly, is we fund many workforce development programs within our network for people who are moving into other industries. So we provide people with digital skills training. We provide them with credentialing. We've got partnerships with over 140 community colleges. So we provide a comprehensive suite of services to help people who are coming out of incarceration so that they can navigate that difficult path back into a sustainable lifestyle.
Look, there are some cynics and some skeptics who will say that the president is very involved in this because he wants to appeal to the minority vote. What's your response to that?
You know, I'm not here to question the president's motives. What I am here to say is the First Step Act, which is the legislation we were talking about, was passed with bipartisan support. And if you were at that White House event yesterday, it was really great to see people from both sides of the aisle, people from government, people from the entertainment industry. This is really not about politics. This is an issue for our country. And you asked about a number a little bit earlier. We have 50,000 people coming out of incarceration every single month. And probably the most important thing for them ultimately, so that they have a sustainable path forward, is to get employment that brings them self-sufficiency, gives them a place to go every day, gives them a place to contribute, and also, very importantly, gives them a place to support their families. So this really is a critical issue. And the other thing I would mention is one of the things we've seen for people coming out of incarceration is when they walk out of that prison, they're walking into a minefield. They may not have money in the bank. They may not have transportation or housing. So to the extent that we can support them in a lot of these critical ways, we see that recidivism rate absolutely plummet. And it's important to understand that there is not only a significant community benefit, but there's a significant financial benefit to our communities to be able to help people along that path.
Steve Preston, you're a good man. We like Goodwill Industries on this program. Thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you very much, Stuart.
Thank you, sir.
All right, appreciate it.
All right, it's been a devastating year for farmers Midwest in particular. Almost constant flooding. Extraordinary stuff. On occasion, it's impossible to turn a crop, and a profit, of course. So last night, some of those affected farmers in Illinois, they put on a no-plant party at a local restaurant. It was meant to vent to one another the issues and maybe blow off some steam. Deirdre Bolton has more on this.
So, you know, our producer, Jason Recke, he was there till 3 a.m. Eastern time, and these farmers wanted to talk to him and say, we want our voices to be heard. They're often not heard, and we really need to talk about this. So we have more video just showing the crops. I mean, normally by this time, you know, you have corn basically knee height or even higher, but with all this flooding, which has been unprecedented, the farmers just haven't been able to get the seed in the ground. So essentially, we've seen corn futures from here in New York go bananas this month. Most people say they're likely to keep heading higher because supply will be lower. So this does have a real effect in the markets as well. And essentially, the farmers have missed this planting window. It's not their fault, just the fields are flooded. So it's too risky for them to go in now. So they're trying to make this decision. Do we file for insurance? Do we not file for insurance? USDA trying to help out. But of course, there's always a legal catch. If they don't plant, technically, they can't get insurance money. So now they are really between a rock and a hard place. Do we plant with the cost, losing the seed, incur all that with the hope of getting insurance coverage, or do we just accept that it's lost? So that's why they are meeting and discussing and trying to help each other and brainstorm.
You think farming's an easy business?
It is not.
Never thought it was easy.
It is not.
Oh, my goodness.
I've got family members involved in it. Did a good report. Thank you very much. A couple of stocks. Here we go. FedEx. China launches an inquiry into errors that FedEx made with package deliveries of Huawei products. FedEx is down a couple of bucks. Southwest extending flight cancellations all the way through September the 2nd because of the Boeing 737 MAX jet groundings. Southwest's at 51. All right, coming up next, we're going to talk Tesla with Scott Galloway. He says Tesla's stock is going to take a dive in the next year. We'll let him make his case. Buckle up, Florida. Driverless semi-trucks coming to your state. Are you ready for this? Well, we'll tell you when they arrive. That's next.
I can't no more. I got the horses in the bag, horse stock is attached. Head is matted black, got the bushes black to match. Riding on a horse, you can whip your Porsche. I've been in the valley, you ain't been up off that porch. Now can't.
My insurance rates are probably gonna double.
But Dad, you've got
Allstate. With accident forgiveness, they guarantee your rates won't go up just because of an accident.
Smart kid.
Indeed. Are you in good hands?
Introducing the only $5 meal deal in the entire world that has Arby's foods in it. Arby's, we have the meats.
At Comcast, we didn't build the nation's largest gig speed network just to make businesses run faster. We built it to help them go beyond. Because beyond risk,
welcome to the neighborhood, guys.
There is reward. Beyond work and life, there is the moment. Beyond technology, there is human ingenuity. Every day, Comcast Business is helping businesses go beyond the expected to do the extraordinary. Take your business beyond.
This is a call to America's innovators and achievers. It's time to work smarter and faster than ever before with steel. The precision of Zeckelman Industries makes it possible. Our industry-leading products, manufacturing excellence, and advanced e-commerce and logistics technologies will help you build America's future better with steel. Let's get to work.
We're the Nigerian brothers. John's been a professional trader for over 37 years, and Pete is one of the country's top 100 traders. On TV, we report on how we follow the smart money from Wall Street's elite, who have the massive resources to get market information before the rest of us. Their unusual option activity tells us what they're starting to trade. Our strategy uncovers why they're trading it and how to follow along for the biggest return. It works on stocks and options. It's the #1 way we choose our trades. Many of you ask, how can you do it too? So we laid out our strategy in our newest book, revealing things we've never revealed. And today we're giving some copies away for free, All you have to do is cover shipping.
Prefer video learning? Get John and Pete's new DVD for free, too. Call 1-800-515-3322 or go to followthesmartmoney.com to get your free book and DVD. Call 1-800-515-3322 or go to followthesmartmoney.com now.
When it comes to hiring, it's important to have a large talent pool to choose from. But sometimes too many good options can be overwhelming. That's why Indeed doesn't just give you access to a large pool of job seekers. We also offer screener tools that let you instantly narrow down your search. It's no wonder Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Hone in on hiring with Indeed. Experience Indeed for yourself today and get a free sponsored job upgrade on your first posting at Indeed.com/sponsor.
Here's a headline for you. Driverless big rigs coming to Florida. Ouch. Watch out, sports fans. Deirdre, tell me more.
It looks a lot like a video game to me. I'm sure this company has a plan. It's a San Francisco startup. It's called Starsky.
It's only a test?
It's only a test for the moment. However, by the end of 2020, they say they will have completely autonomous trucks on the road. They will have physical drivers for the first and then the last mile. But in between, unbeknownst to you, perhaps a motorist on the road in Florida, the semi will be moving on its own. So they're actually beating McKinsey. The consulting firm said, well, this seems more like a 2024 project. This startup is saying, nope, we're hiring 100 people right now. We want to train them up to drive remotely. And by the end of 2020, we will have these on the road. And by the way, Florida law for the moment does not require anybody to tell you anything. So you could just be driving alongside and look at a semi and not see a driver.
Can't wait.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, great.
Especially the way I drive. All right, Deirdre, thank you.
Sure.
We like bold statements on this programme, no wishy-washy stuff, far from it. Our next guest says Tesla's going to take a dive, dropping below $100 a share in the next year, and they're going to be bought out by a bigger company. That's bold, I would say, especially when the stock's at $214. Scott Galloway is with us. He's a professor at a New York institution, the NYU School of Socialism, I believe. It's a school for socialism, isn't it?
It's a business school, Stuart.
A business school? Are you kidding me?
We're the gangster capitalists punching out remarkable young capitalists every day.
Yeah. Okay, Tesla.
Yeah.
Why will it drop below $100 a share? What's the problem?
So I made this call 3 months ago and it was at $300, so it's halfway there. Single brand automobile manufacturing just doesn't have the scale to compete in what is a very capital intensive industry. They have overpromised and undelivered on almost every dimension. They've never made a production target. You have a revolving door of senior management. Greatness is achieved in the agency of others. Almost every senior exec has left over the course of the last 12 months. So I think the question is this a genius who has changed the world for the better? Is Tesla a great car? I own one.
Yep.
Or is this company going out of business or not going to be an independent company? I would say the answer is yes. There's real value there, but I think it'll be purchased. Standalone automobile manufacturing is just almost untenable.
I agree entirely. I think the whole car industry in general is in deep trouble.
Difficult place.
Yeah, because there's so much capacity to produce tens of millions of vehicles, which we're not going to buy. But tell me about the electric car market. I don't think it's going to be as strong as perhaps you think it's going to be.
Well, I would argue that the most positive impact Tesla has had is that it has kind of woken the Germans and Detroit from their electric slumber. And there is now more R&D and innovation around electric. I don't know if you have an electric car, but it's nice to never have to go to a gas station again. I personally like the full throaty feel of an internal combustion engine. The numbers might not be as great as we'd like to think as soon, but it's definitely happening. But you want to talk about bold statements that verge on, quite frankly, not being truthful. When Elon Musk says 2 months ago, within a year, there's going to be 1 million autonomous driving Tesla taxis, that's just not happening. And Stuart, you remember that tweet, taking the company private at $420 a share, funding secured? I've served on the boards of public companies. If our CEO said that, he'd be out the next day. That's pure market manipulation, and for some reason we decide to we have one set of standards for CEOs, and then we have another set of standards for quote-unquote innovators.
Okay, so you're standing by below $100 within the next year, and someone is going to snap them up and pick them up.
Or it's a pre-packed bankruptcy, $11 billion in liabilities and warranty liabilities. This company could go into a death spiral and be bought out of bankruptcy. This is a terrible stock to own right now.
Okay, Facebook.
Yeah.
You know that they're going to get involved in this cryptocurrency. Yeah. They've already got some big backers. What have they got? Visa, I think, and PayPal, MasterCard, all those. There's some big backers.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a very, very big deal. You've got 2.5 billion people in their network, so to speak. What do you say?
We were talking about this off camera. This could be huge. This could, I mean, within 90 days, you're talking about something that could end up being the default currency globally. And they're actually being quite smart about this. They're putting in place an advisory board that's independent of Facebook, because let's be honest, Facebook, nobody trusts Facebook. And when you're talking about a currency that could potentially have more power than any central bank, that starts to get serious.
That big?
Well, 2.4 billion active users.
It's just a payment system. That, as I understand it, I'm trying to wrap my arms around this. It's a network, 2.5 billion people on the platform, so to speak, and they're just going to use this cryptocurrency to pay each other. Is that it?
Well, say within a year, half those 2.5 billion people, or the population of the Southern Hemisphere plus India, start using one currency. You have a currency that's become effectively the default currency globally. That has tremendous power and ramifications.
You think it's a backup for the dollar on a global scale?
You know, I don't know. We're going to have to see. But when you have this many people on a platform, and they could potentially encrypt the back end and make it very easy to transfer money to other people, which, quite frankly, I don't know if you do wires. Wires are so difficult and such a pain.
Absolutely.
And there's so many things you see on Facebook every day. On Instagram stories, you see beautiful images of product. The idea that you could just tap and it's on its way because the payment is secure, or you could send your friends back in Britain money really easily, this could overnight become one of the biggest currencies in the world. So I'm not a big fan of Facebook, but this could be an extraordinary innovation. This is very exciting. It'll be interesting to see what happens. The white paper's coming out in about a week, but there's no getting around it. This could be a seminal moment in the history of payments and business.
We like bold statements.
There you go,
a bold statement. But one thing I'll take issue with.
Yep.
I don't have any friends in England.
No.
Do you think there's any English people who support a guy like me on Fox? Who's
come on, intelligent, handsome? Come on, the new James Bond. The new James Bond.
He's Varney, man.
That's how you get invited back. That's how you get invited back.
Actually, that's true.
You know too.
Scott, you're all right. Thanks
Good
very
to see
much.
you, Stuart.
You too, sir. Thank you very much. Elizabeth Warren wants to cancel student debt for millions of youngsters.
Yes.
We'll tell you what the plan is. We'll tell you about that. But first, we've got to show you this again. The Raptors won their first NBA championship last night. They beat the Warriors. More Varney after this. Look at them go. All right, we'll be back.
I like stunning, I like shining, I like $1 million deals. Where's my pen? I'm signing.
I can't tell you who I am or what I witnessed, but I can tell you Liberty Mutual customized my car insurance, so I only pay for what I need. No.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Introducing the only $5 meal deal in the entire world that has Arby's foods in it. Arby's, we have the meat.
Introducing the latest innovation in luxury senior and family bathing, the Elevate Bathtub. This revolutionary design includes a door panel that easily slides up and down so you will never stand on a wet surface again, and the bathtub drains in up to 10 seconds. For ultimate relaxation, turn on the heated backrest and unwind. The Elevate tub uses chromotherapy and air-jet systems to revitalize your sense of well-being. Elevate, the bathtub for all ages.
I created Hint Water to make water taste better. We started in one grocery store. Now we're online and everywhere. And we couldn't have done it without NetSuite. NetSuite's cloud-based software gives me visibility and control of all my business systems. Budgeting, forecasting, supply chain, everything I need to keep growing. NetSuite makes running my business simple, so I can focus on what I love and what's next.
Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/grow.
Tonight, Maria goes one-on-one with real estate giant Larry Silverstein. Then, Donna Brazil brings Smart 2020 insight on WSJ at Large.
Why hunch over your old-fashioned walker or rollator when you could be walking upright with the Upwalker? The original Upwalker is the safer and more comfortable way to get you up and on your feet again.
The Upwalker is revolutionary. You're able to walk upright and get a normal gait because your balance is there.
Before, you just look down, so you just feel down, but with the Upwalker, you're straight, you're tall. This feels great.
You know, when I was diagnosed with Parkinson's, I felt like I was trapped in my own house. But now with the Up Walker, it gives me the freedom to do what I want to do.
He's enjoying life. His spirits are up. His confidence is up. It has given us our life back.
The Up Walker easily folds, adjusts to your height, and features ergonomic handbrakes, a sliding seat, and sturdy 8-inch wheels that glide over a variety of terrains. Your Up Walker is backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee and comes fully assembled. Call now, and for a limited time, you'll receive free shipping, plus a free beverage holder, free backrest, and free carrying bag. That's over $100 in total combined savings.
It's a great tool to help people get walking independently. Patients can put their arms in the armrest. They look comfortable, they feel safe and secure.
I just want to say that I love this Up Walker. It's my miracle piece of equipment to get me mobile again and get me to take care of myself again.
The Up Walker comes in different models and sizes to meet your needs. Visit getupwalker.com to see if you qualify for a payment plan to fit your budget.
It's brought Mary's smile back again, and when she smiles, I smile.
So whatever your mobility issue, try the Up Walker today.
Call 800-208-3583 to save over $100. That's 800-208-3583. Call 800-208-3583. Act now.
Yeah, there you have it. Okay, what you're looking at now is the 119th US Open at Pebble. That is Tiger Woods. I think that's a practice shot earlier this week.
Yes.
He's not on the putting green. That man's using his driver right there. At the moment, Tiger is tied for 30th place, I believe. Yeah. And the tournament continues today. You can watch it, of course, all through the weekend on Fox. Yes, I'll be watching it. Oh, beautiful. I'm watching it. And you can stream it live on foxsports.com. Got that. Now, you can also watch soccer this weekend.
It's just a sports cornucopia. I can't wait.
Right. I mean, I'm on my recliner watching both. I mean, that's the way it is.
Yes.
You can watch continuing coverage of the Women's World Cup. Remember, Team USA plays Chile on Sunday, noon Eastern Time. Watch it all on Fox.
12-0.
Let's get serious. Elizabeth Warren, Senator Warren, wants to cancel student debt for millions of people. Hold on a second, Ashley.
Yes.
Cancelling all student debt?
50,000 in student
all
debt.
Student debt?
For 42 million Americans, but not everyone. It's dependent on household income. If the household income is under 100,000, you're in luck. Paid off. Above 250,000, sorry, you're out of luck.
And then in the middle, 100,000 to 250,000, it's negotiable. So I don't really know what that means.
But wait a minute. What happens if I just paid off my student loan last week?
You are punished, my friend.
I get no free money.
You did the right thing, and you will be punished.
So now I've got to pay for those people who haven't yet paid it off.
Yeah.
What do you think to that?
I don't think that's right. Of course it's
not fair.
Especially for those who did it right and paid off all their loans and when they were supposed to. But if you don't, Elizabeth Warren's got your back.
What to the argument that student debt is really hurting the economy?
Well, it is.
Youngsters can't buy stuff and get a house.
And it is, after mortgage debt, it is the #1 pot of debt that we have in this country.
$1.5 trillion.
Yeah, $1.5 trillion.
Yeah. So a solution needs to be found, but maybe this isn't the right one. I think
why does a solution have to be found?
Well, I just think that's a lot. And if you talk to millennials, they're not buying houses, they're not buying cars, they can't move on.
A solution means forgiveness, doesn't it?
It does. It means just forget
Any way you slice it,
it's forgiveness. I guess who pays?
In some form, yes. Who pays? Some have suggested that corporations pay. Some have suggested that instead of the terms being, 3 years, that it kind of can extend to 10 or 15, in which case the bank would essentially be giving up profits.
2% on people with $50 million in assets and up, 3% of assets above $1 billion.
Oh, that's what
by the way, they claim will generate $2.75 trillion over the next 10 years, which will pay for it all, and free college, which he is also proposing.
Okay. I guess I can go along with all of this. Not. Okay. I think we have to take a break, and as I usually do at this time, I promise that there will be more Varney after this.
We are a place for men to find products that help them express their personal sense of style. I'm Jerry Hum. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Touch of Modern. We take a much more design-focused approach to what makes each product unique. So being a digitally native brand, when we started with television, it was just an experiment. And very quickly actually ended up being our biggest portion of our marketing spend. If I were advising another company, I would tell them to test TV out, but as a competitor, I would tell them not to.
I have a structured settlement and I need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now.
I have an annuity, but I need cash now.
Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now.
Call to find out how to get a $5,000 cash advance for your structured settlement. That's $5,000 to use any way you like.
You get long-term payments, but you need cash now. Call J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. 877 cash now.
877 cash now.
877 cash now.
It's your money. Use it when you need it.
Call J.G. Wentworth now for your $5,000. Offer is subject to meeting certain underwriting and transaction requirements. Call the number provided or visit 5000now.com for further details.
Is that kind of golf music? Come on, I want to hear some cheers. I'm going to be watching Pebble Beach US Open this weekend.
Oh, I'm going to be glued.
Absolutely glued.
I love it. I love the course. I love everything about it.
I was going to say, even if we don't follow, I mean, just look at that scenery, right? It's like, you know.
Who's going to win?
I might go with Koepka to keep his major streak going. He's still really strong. If not Koepka, then McIlroy.
Koepka is the most underappreciated champion.
He is.
The man who gets no coverage.
And he's done incredible things.
Tiger's playing, right?
Yes.
He's currently tied
1 under.
30th, right? But the leader at the moment is Justin Rose.
Right, the Brit.
5 under, is he? 6 under.
6 under.
And yesterday, course record. Thank you very much. Fill in my sentences for me.
I thought you were struggling.
This is really very good. You can watch it all on Fox, Pebble Beach, US Open, all weekend long. Oh, it's going to be great. And you can also watch, of course, soccer. We like to get that in.
I'm proud of you guys for saying soccer and not football.
Well, if it's just Ash and I, it's football. But when you're involved, it's soccer, okay?